This is one of the most traumatizing days of my life for a lot of reasons.
Considering everything we've heard, I can't imagine what the f is about to happen here.
And this is one of the things that he would do, which wasn't directly abuse. He would slap my sunburn as hard as he could.
I'm gonna be real with you. That is abuse, just to be clear.
He had started to be really, really, really rude to me.
I'm sorry. He started?
I can't explain it. Like, he would fully just cocking his back and swinging it into me as hard as he can.
The amount of rage that I have is f***ing insane right now. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
He was just on top of me, strangling me. He wouldn't get off.
It makes me a little bit happy that he was having a seizure.
How am I sitting here just saying this with a f***ing straight face like it's f***ing normal?
Somehow, that is the most unhinged thing that he's ever done to her. It's crazy that this is the first time in this entire story that another guy finally stood up for her. All right, guys. We looked at part 1 of this the other day, and it was a lot. Even for me. I hate to be a baby about it, but it kind of messed me up a little bit. Part 2 released the day that the next day after we did part 1. I just needed a little time to kind of just chill, you know, a little secondhand trauma, I'll say. Obviously, pales in comparison to what she seems to have experienced. Part 1 was crazy. Like I told you, her ex was basically very abusive, and I had some insider information from somebody that apparently knows a guy. Somebody I trust a lot. Somebody that they trust a lot, talk to them about how basically he would talk about how he would get drunk and be abusive. Right, so this story comes with an additional layer of credibility for me coming into it, and it was pretty horrible what she talked about. And so this is a part 2 to that. So get ready for it, man.
These never get less scary to start. This is so hard. This is always so hard to do. The beginning's always the hardest part.
I can imagine.
So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Or try to. As you guys know, 4 days ago, for the first time, I opened up about how for the past 9 months I've been in an abusive relationship, and I posted "He Does Not Love You" part 1.
Yep.
And I shared the first half of my story.
A lot of videos, a lot of pictures, really kind of just heart-wrenching stuff. Like really messed. Yeah, it's horrible, man. This guy had like no remorse as he was like hitting her. And
now it's time to tell the second half.
All right.
But this part is gonna be
hopefully for her sake. This is like the last half. You know, not the just because this is a lot to be, you know, going on, and I'm assuming talking about it's really just bringing it back up again, and then you have people giving you, you know, different affirmations, whether they're positive affirmations or negative affirmations, and it's just I'm sure it's just kind of, you know, twisting her around a little bit. So hopefully she just kind of settles after this, moves forward.
a little different. I'm not going to edit this one. I don't have time to edit this one because I had originally filmed part 2 the day after filming part 1, but I lost those files.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here filming this, and I'm going to post it immediately after.
Okay. That's fair.
But with that being said,
yeah, it was interesting. In the first one, she had cut out a lot of her like crying. Like she seemed like she was trying not to, you know, have herself crying inside of it, which is interesting. You know, it's just kind of it came off as she wasn't trying to like play it up as much as possible. So, you know, there's just a lot of little things in her video that lent credibility to her.
This has been one of the hardest past few days, in the best ways and the worst ways. I've been in denial with this whole situation since it happened, when it was happening, after it happened, and I've just been in denial. Like, I refused that this was the reality of the situation and that this had actually happened to me. And up until 4 days ago, it became a reality because I'm talking about it and posting about it.
I bet. That's one of those things that makes it like additionally traumatizing. You know, the thing happened and then talking about it almost makes it happen again, especially if you haven't processed it at all. I mean, you're processing it live. And then again, people are constantly weighing in on it, so it just becomes potentially, you know, even more, you know, toxic for you, or maybe not toxic. Maybe that's not the right word, but I think you understand what I'm saying. You know, it's a lot to take in at the once.
I don't even know how to put it into words. Like, it's like I didn't believe that this had actually happened. It almost felt like a dream, or like everything that happened was just like a movie and it wasn't my life. But these past few days, it's literally just snapped me into reality that this shit has happened, because I feel like a way that I deal with trauma is trauma blocking, and I try to forget that it ever happened. But I've been forced to live in it and deal with it the past few days. And as much as it sucks.
And this is one of the reasons why some people don't even go to the police, because it's just like, talking about the story, especially right after it happens, can like really mess you up.
It's something that I'm grateful for, because
oh yeah, she's definitely lucky to be alive after this guy, to be like, absolutely, that's 100% true, based on the way that he was like treating her and the shit that she was showing us. Oh yeah.
I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for us. And I've received a lot of messages since I posted part 1, with people sharing the same story, and it's fucking insane to me how many people have gone through the same thing. And that is why I'm doing this. This is literally why I'm doing this, to tell our story. This is for the people that are going through this right now. This is for the people that will never go through this. Sorry. Oh, sorry, that was a bad time to cough. This is for the people that will never have to go through this because they see this video. This is for the people that have gone through this. This is for you. This is for us. And
yeah, and you know what? Hopefully this is also for some people who, for some men that, maybe don't understand the consequences of their actions sometimes. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but, I don't think that there's a bunch of men that are going to watch this that are just like him going, oh, wow, that's actually bad. But, there might be some behaviors that you're engaging in as a man that you might like not realize are as, potentially negative or harmful as you once thought. And maybe this video helps enlighten you a little bit on that too. Makes you kind of realize like, okay, I need to be a little more careful with the way that I act and treat people, especially with like, a physical power dynamic around different people. I know for my wife loves me a lot, and I know it sounds crazy, but I can do anything to that woman and then she'll deal with it. I don't do that because I love her a lot. But, there's probably guys who are in a situation where they're with a girl, and there's also probably the other way too, girls with guys, but where the one partner will do like anything for them, and I'll do anything for my wife, but they may unintentionally take advantage of that. And you want to be aware of that, because you don't want to be doing that to your partner. At least I would hope you don't want to be doing that to your partner. So, maybe you can learn something too.
As much as it sucks that I went through this, I'm grateful that there's a reason that I did, and it's to help everybody else and share my story. Like I've said a million times, this is not just my story. This is your story. This is our story. I've said it before, but I would do this a million times over if it meant that nobody else had to. And it scares me to think that if it wasn't me in that situation, and if it was somebody else, I wonder if they would have stayed until they died, until they got killed.
Possible.
Because I know if I didn't leave when I did, it would have gotten to that point. But, this is the second half of my story, and I'm not done talking about my story after this. I don't know when I'll be done. I don't think there is even a time to be done. I
would personally, and it's just I'm not that she'll ever watch this, but I feel like there should be a done date on when you talk, like the way you talk about it, at least online. Obviously you want to process this information positively, but there's got to be a time where where you try not to continuously relive it. Not that she's trying to. I'm just saying sometimes it's good to say your piece and do what you got to do, and then take a break emotionally.
I don't know. It was just scary, but I'm gonna jump straight into part 2, and I have all the dates once again written on this whiteboard. So if you see me keep looking over here, it's just so that I know the dates of everything. So, okay. I'm pretty sure I ended off the last video with the story about the nightclub, and I don't.
Yeah, from what I remember, the story about the nightclub, she had her friend Brennan. She was there with him, and then her ex was just being, well, I guess you'd just say fucking insane. Is the best way to kind of say that. Like he's trying to like size him up and everything.
I think I got into the night time of that experience. So this was October 24th, 2024. Sorry, I'm like sick right now.
Jesus Christ.
God, this was October 24th, 2024.
I'm pretty sure she was sick in the first one too. Jesus Christ.
24. I told this story in part 1, but I'll brief through it to get to where this part comes in play. So basically me, my roommate Emma, Brennan, and my boyfriend had went out to a nightclub for my friend's birthday, and my boyfriend was convinced that my friend Brennan wasn't gay, even though he is.
He's very gay. That's not I'm not saying that to be offensive. You could just, he's, you know, he sounds gay. I mean, it is what it is.
And events took place that night that led him to get aggressive and get physical with me and Brennan because he was convinced that.
Well, one of the events that led him to get aggressive is because his mom didn't get an abortion. That's probably the number one reason. At least that's just my opinion.
We were hooking up. He forced me to twerk on Brennan, forced me to say I wanted to F Brennan, tried to get Brennan to say that he wasn't actually gay and was just threatening us, and then took us into a back room to talk, and then ended up throwing us into a pile of chairs until somebody had walked in, and then he had walked out. So basically the moral of that whole scenario was basically that my boyfriend at the time was just convinced that my gay best friend wasn't gay and thought that I was hooking up with him and cheating on my boyfriend with him.
Yeah, he's visually gay. What? This is Brennan. Look at this.
I'm recording right now is one that I wish I didn't have to.
He's gay. You could tell. Voice, looks, and he looks good. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying he's a bit like ugly, or I'm not being derogatory, but like, you know, you could tell when somebody's gay. You know what I'm saying, dude? I got that gaydar, dude. So, you know, I'm just letting you know. It's obvious.
That was that time.
I mean, I wouldn't even doubt that this guy knew he was gay, but just wanted to have a problem. You know, there's her ex seems like the kind of person that wants to have a problem, that wants to be angry, that wants people to cross them so that they can feel justified in their, you know, violent aggression, and they feel justified in taking that aggression out onto other people because they like to, well, basically inflict pain, you know? And I think everybody has a little bit of that sometimes. Sometimes you just want to be mad. You want to feel a little mad and upset, and you want to feel a little valid and in a minor crash out. But I mean, when you have this guy throwing his girlfriend into dirty rivers and violently beating her, we're probably existing in a different, probably a little different, probably slightly different than the average person.
It was like that part of the night. So after he had thrown us into the chairs, I go to the bar, and at this point, I just start throwing back shots because I couldn't believe that he had just gotten physical with me and my best friend. And I'm not exactly sure what had happened on the way home. I don't even know if we took the same Uber home. I really don't know. But I remember I got back home, and immediately me and my boyfriend just start arguing, and he's accusing me once again of being a whore, a slut, cheating on him with Brennan, calling me every name in the book, everything you could think of. So we're just arguing, going back and forth, and I remember I also thought that I was home alone. I did not know that my roommate Emma was home. So we're just going at it. And at this time, he had gotten physical with me a handful of times before. So I didn't want to escalate the situation further, especially since I thought I was home alone. And he was obviously intoxicated and had already gotten literally physical with me that night in a public setting with my friend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't want to push it any further. So he's screaming at me, "You're a slut, you're a whore, you want to F Brennan, you want to F Brennan, you want to F Brennan." So
he is not a bad looking guy. Okay.
After a while of arguing, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. It's 4 a.m. I'm done. So
maybe this guy actually wanted to fuck Brennan, and he was just like a weirdo, you know?
I get in bed, and I put the covers over me to act like I'm sleeping. To act like I'm sleeping so that hopefully he will just go into the living room and sleep on the couch, because how are you going to argue with somebody that's sleeping? So I lay down, and he's just yelling at me, and I'm not responding. I'm acting like I'm asleep. And then I just hear him yelling. He's yelling, getting closer. He's walking closer to the bed. And then he gets on top of me. He gets on top of me while I'm laying in bed. And he basically just keeps yelling at me, and he's like, "How are you gonna ignore me now, bitch? You're not gonna ignore me now, bitch. Listen to me, you're not gonna ignore me now, bitch." And oh my god, I actually have anxiety. That's when he starts to strangle me. He puts both of his hands around my neck, and I'm laying down like this, and he's on top of me like this, and I'm laying down, and he's choking me with both of his hands. His whole body weight is just on my neck. And I've never felt that before in my life. Oh my god. So he's just sitting there strangling me, And I remember I opened my eyes and he's like staring me in the face while he's doing this, and his hands are just around my neck and he's choking me. And I couldn't breathe. And I start like kicking my arms and wailing my like legs, and I'm just like trying to like get him off of me, but he's on top of me. I can't get him off. And I couldn't breathe, and I'm just like, I can't breathe. And like my vision started to get fuzzy, and he was on top of, I don't even know how long he was on top of me for, but he was just staring me in the face. I couldn't breathe. And I remember once my vision started getting, oh, I hate this. I remember once my vision started to get blurry. I knew, like, I thought I was gonna die. And I know he was trying to kill me that night. He was just on top of me, strangling me, he wouldn't get off. And looking me in the face while he's doing it.
This is like fucking surreal. This is insane. Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. I mean, this story, it's a lot. Jesus Christ. I mean, it makes you feel like you want to be violent, you know? At this person, not her, obviously. It's just, it's insane. It's insane, you know what I mean? But obviously, you know, you don't want to get punished yourself. But holy fuck, bro. The amount of that rage, the amount of rage that I have is fucking insane right now. I'm sure I'm not the only one. This is wild.
And right before I felt like I was gonna pass out, I like screamed, tried to scream, and I didn't know anybody was home. I really thought it was just me and him. And genuinely, if my roommate Emma had not walked into this damn room, he would have killed. He was trying to kill me. He knew I couldn't breathe. I was like, so then right as shit starts to go black and I tried to scream, Emma walks into the room, my roommate, and she's like, get the F off of her, get the fuck off of her. And he jumps off of me and he looks at her, starts cussing her out, and then walks away and goes sleeps on the couch. And
Jesus fucking Christ.
Emma looked at me and I didn't want to admit to her what had just happened. So I looked at her and I was like, I don't know. And I took a video like 10 minutes after he had done this. And my neck was just all red. Damn. It was all red from being strangled.
I unironically hope she doesn't show the video. Like, I know that sounds fucked up, but this is a lot.
Me, it was just completely red.
This is terrible. This young girl's story is horrible. Like, it really is like a horrific, disgusting story. You know what happened to her. It really is just fucked up. And it just kind of reminds me of like, you know, as you listen to it, obviously. It reminds me, excuse me, of like a scenario that I've been in before where somebody that like I was very close to, I'm not going to be specific about who, obviously, was telling me like a really traumatic event, like a really terrible story. And as I was hearing the story, that this is something that happened to them in their past, you know, that they asked me this question. They said, like, does that sound like something bad happened? And I'm censoring my language heavily. And I just remember, like, you know, maybe it's a man thing, but as a man, I'm getting angry. I'm getting so angry. I'm getting so worked up. You know, how could this happen to somebody that I care about so much? And I remember, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because I feel like people, especially maybe young men, need to hear this. I remember her going, "Are you okay?" You know, after expressing this intense story, she asked me if I'm okay. Right? And I realized that, like, you know, it was almost like selfish how angry and how worked up I got, and that it was more about just letting this person have the ability to express themselves and get it out, rather than getting me emotionally worked up, because now the focus shifted from them expressing something intense that like they needed to express to me getting angry by it, and then them trying to console me. So, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes, you know, you just got to check. You got to check the way that you interact with people expressing things, and make the priority, you know, sometimes the priority is not justice. Sometimes the priority is just, every time the priority is just them and what they need and how they need to feel, and how, you know, you need to interact with the information that they're telling you. Because obviously, you know, this is something that happened to them, and so that's your priority. You want us to be. So it just reminded me of that.
That's when I feel like he lost the thing in his brain, if it was ever there, to tell him to stop. You know, because he would always he would get physical with me. But
I don't know, man. Like I've been an angry guy before, but the thing in his brain that tells him to stop, I don't know. I struggle to give this guy too much of the benefit of the doubt, because when I hear something like that, it's almost like you know, to me, it's like, oh, you know, he couldn't have stopped him. You know what I mean? He could have. I think he could have. He could have controlled himself. He decided not to. You know, that's what I think about that. He's just a fucking animal.
He had this thing in his brain that would tell him when to stop. And like that night, he didn't have it. Like it was gone.
Well, that's one of the things too, is about like somebody with like anger problems. Because again, I've had anger problems. It's really not about trying to stop yourself when you already, you know, peak as your anger peaks. It's about, you know, trying to fucking reserve yourself earlier than that. You know, just chill the fuck out. Like reserve yourself and be like, okay, I have to like not get that. But getting to the point of strangling someone, that's insane. Like we're not even talking. I mean, this is just fucking insane. I've never even been close to this part of like anything. It's wild.
Genuinely choking me to the point where he knew I couldn't breathe and was looking me in the face and like, and I know if Emma wasn't there, I wouldn't have woken up. So that was October 24th. The next morning, the same shit. He walks into my room and acts like nothing happened. And
you've seen TikToks from people showing how in old TikToks she'd had light but still visible bruising around her neck, which lends more to that's crazy. Jesus.
Matter of fact, he was still mad at me, and so I had to apologize to him and say that I would never cheat on him. I didn't mean to make him think that I wanted to F Brennan, but he never apologized that night for that. So the next week, this was a time in my life where I feel like I was shutting down, and I had at this point completely lost myself. Like I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I wanted in life.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine after something like that. I mean, I can't imagine being, you know, I can imagine that just takes away part of who you are as a person. That's fucked up. You know, and I imagine it takes quite a bit to get that back. That's fucking insane. Jesus Christ.
Know what my goals were anymore. I lost myself completely at this point. So for like the next few days, I was just inside with him watching movies or playing video games, and I like wouldn't leave my house.
Jesus.
But I ended up having.
That's wild. She was so afraid of this guy that she had to stay inside and play fucking video games with him because he's a fucking child. That's insane. I mean, I like video games too, but like imagine like you beat the shit out of somebody, you assault somebody, and then you need to stay inside with them so that they don't hurt you. That's insane.
A jewelry drop with Spencer's November 1st. And that was October 24th. And
I think that's like her job or something. I remember, I think we saw her we went to the mall. Like she was, she does like, I guess, branding stuff. If that makes sense. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We saw her face and I was like, oh, she's got a lot of freckles. That's why we remember her, because she had a lot of fucking freckles. I was like, what the hell? You know? So maybe some of them are painted on. I don't know.
I wanted to be in Nashville.
That's all right. I paint my beard on, so it's all good, you know?
When everything had dropped, so that I was like in a fresh mindset. Because the house that I was living at this time he was living with me, just not officially. The house that we were all living at was just like, I mean, the vibes were just horrible. I mean, he had beaten me so many times in it, and I don't know. For
a second, I thought she was talking about like a hype house, you know?
I just knew that I didn't want to be there for the drop of my collection, so I told him that I wanted to get an Airbnb in Nashville and stay there for the drop and stay there like 3 days after so I could create content and really lock in on promoting this drop. So
I imagine after these like violent bouts that he goes through, he's like, quote unquote, the best version of himself. Like he calms down and he's like, oh man, he probably feels a level of, this isn't justifying it, he might even feel a level of guilt, and he acts like a better person. You know, like the type of person that cheats on you and then they act like really nice around you because they feel kind of guilty. That's what I imagine like the cycle is.
I was like, let's just spend Halloween weekend in Nashville. And then the day after Halloween's the drop, and then we'll stay there for 2 extra days and go back to California. And I'm pretty sure he also had like a probation check-in at that time. So it like just all lined up. So
Probation.
I'm not sure exactly what day we get down to Nashville, but we do. And we get invited to a party on October 30th. So we go to this party, and me and him arrive very, 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 very late to this party. We get there at like midnight, and it had started at like 10, and it was like just this house party. So we get there, and it's like a group of his friends that we meet up with. And we end up walking into this one house. So we like park his car, we get out, and we walk up to this one house with his group of friends. There's like maybe 7 of them, and then me and my boyfriend. And we walk.
Yeah, he was on probation. I think it was for driving while drunk. Like, I think when they first met, she was on probation for that, red flag there. That's what I'm saying, girls. You got to stop thinking you could fix these men,
Into this house, and there is nobody there. Like, it is not a party. It's not a house party. There's like literally nobody there. There's like a girl sleeping on the couch and like 3 girls in the kitchen. And,
interesting.
And like 2 guys. Like, there's maybe 5 people in this house, and it's just empty. So
Okay.
I'm looking around like, we showed up late. Let's just like go home. And I'm standing with like 4 of the guys from the friend group that we had met up with, while my boyfriend goes out to the backyard to see if anybody's back there, if that's where the party's at, and he walks out with like 2 of his friends. So I'm just standing there, and then my boyfriend walks out of the backyard being like, it's dead. And so his friend looks at me and goes, should we go? And I was like, yeah, like I don't think it's a party, we should go. And so said that. I want you to think about the conversation I just had. His friend looks at me, I think we should go. And I go, yeah, I think we should go. Turn around and walk out. And I assume my boyfriend is just right behind me. He is. So we get out of the house and we get back in my boyfriend's car. And I'm like, damn, well, that sucks. We didn't go to a party tonight, but whatever. Tomorrow's Halloween. We could go do something. And then the next day is my drop. Like, it's not the end of the world. And he looks at me and he's like, why were you ready to go only when my friend was ready to go? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, there was nobody at the house. Like, I was ready to go the second we walked in. Like, I was just agreeing with your friend that we should, like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it's like if you're in a normal relationship, you're both at a party, you're both ready to go, and one of you guys is like, all right, it's time to check out here, everybody. It was nice seeing you. I got to take a dump, something like that.
It was like, it wasn't like I was sitting there having a heartfelt conversation. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, you only wanted to go because my friend was ready to go. I was like, what are you, like, what?
Yeah, this guy just wants to be angry at things. He wants to be angry so he can justify his abuse.
Are you talking about? And so it just starts this, like, argument out of nothing. Like, literally, like, the same shit that happened on October 24th, where he was like, the way you touched Brennan's face, when all I did was, like, go like this to whisper in his ear. It was the same thing. Why do you only want to leave when my friend wants to leave? I was like, what are you talking about? So he ends up pulling over on the side of the road, and he grabs my phone, and he's like, let me go through it. Let me make sure you didn't add him. And I'm like, okay, bro, whatever. So he goes on my Snapchat, obviously sees that I didn't add.
That reminds me to Snapchat my wife just to make sure we maintain our streak. I know it's like immature, but we have our streak is 2,221, so I'm gonna
add his friend. Like, I don't even know. So he sees that I didn't add his friend, and he's like, well, I want to.
What kind of friends are you with that you're worried about them fucking your girlfriend? It's bizarre.
I want to actually go through your phone, like your whole phone when we get home. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last part, but going through phones was like every day. Like, he would always go through my phone. There's a video of us on live of him going through my phone. Like,
yeah, we saw that video, I think, in the last video that we did.
My phone was his phone. Like, he would just go through it whenever he wanted, and he would deep dive on it. He would go through text messages with me and my mom. Like, he would read absolutely everything. So he's like, I'm actually gonna go through your phone when we get home. And I was like, okay, whatever, like, that's fine, but like, why? Like, why? And so we start arguing about it, and I don't know how it got to the point where it did, but we just end up yelling at each other. And then like at the car wash, he slammed my head into the window. Same thing, grabs my hair and slams my head into the window. So at that
Jesus Christ
point, I opened the car door, and I'm like, I'm not fucking riding back with you if you're gonna put your hands on me for something I didn't even do anything. Like, what are you getting like physical with me for? Like, why did you just slam my head into the window for no fucking reason? And he's like, no, get the fuck back in the car, get the fuck back in the car. And he had my phone in his hand, and he's like, I'm not letting you have your phone. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, get back in the car now. And I'm like, then why did you why? Like, what made you just get physical with me? So I'm standing out in the middle of the street. I don't have a phone. What the fuck am I gonna do? So I get back in the car, and it's like an hour car ride back to his house, and I wasn't allowed to have my phone. I wasn't allowed to hold my phone. I wasn't allowed to do anything on it. So he just had my phone, and we rode back in complete silence. And When we're like 15 minutes away from the Airbnb, he looks at me and he's like, "Did you bring your second phone to Nashville?"
Was you have a work phone?
And I have like 3 phones. This phone that I'm recording on, and then my 2 other phones that are like broken and dead, but I just keep them because I have like TikTok drafts on them. And I had brought
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
it with me to Nashville.
I have a I have a phone like that too. I have like an old like iPhone 9 that I never exchanged in, but part of that is just because you know, I have like work information on there and I'm like anxious about it, you know?
Nashville so that I could post videos from when I recorded like my Spencer's drop at the studio, because I'd had my old phone at the time. It doesn't matter, whatever. But I had my old phone. And I was like, yeah, I brought it. And he's like, well, I want to go through that too. So I'm like, okay. So we get back to the Airbnb. He looks at me and he goes, I want you to come back down here with that phone still dead. I don't want you to have turned it on. I don't want you to have unlocked it. Like, I want that phone dead. I'm going to charge it in the car and go through it. So I have to go down, bring him my old phone. So now he has both of my phones, and I take a shower. I watch a movie all the way through. He is in the garage going through my phone for 3 hours. He goes through both phones for 3 hours. And at this point, I'm in the room just like sobbing because I just didn't understand what I did. He had slammed my head up against the car window, was calling me a slut, a whore, and now has both of my phones, all because I said I was ready to go back home when his friend... I agreed with his friend. That's all I did. All I did was agree with his friend. So after 2 hours, it's like 3 a.m. at this point. He comes back into the room holding both of my phones and he throws them at me. Throws them, like, you know, right on me.
No, I'm assuming that even though he didn't find anything, he's still convinced he's right.
And gets in bed and just like is smiling and scrolling on reels on his phone. And I'm like, so, and he's like, nothing. Good night. And I'm like, so, like I don't know. This story just like always fucks with me. Like, that's why I'm sharing it, because it's like, what the fuck? And like the way he walked back in the room, he was just like smiling, like he just didn't care. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I just don't know. That was just weird. And then we wake up the next morning and we went to a Halloween party. I don't know. Maybe that story's not important, but it's just the taking my phone for 2 hours, and I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. It was just...
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly strange. Like I said in the last video, like it's fine to look through your partner's phone. Like, or I mean, I don't know. Like it's fine if you look through it. I don't look through my wife's phone. She doesn't look through mine. Maybe she does. I don't care. But disappearing for 2 hours, starting all these problems. It's just there's a whole. It's like 1% of the behavior is normal, but then it's exacerbated into this like horrific mess. You know.
It's weird. It was just weird, and the way it's fucking like toxic, weird. Also, never apologized for slamming my head up again. He never apologized for anything that he did, but whatever. Yeah, like I said, the next day is Halloween. We go to a Halloween party, and then November 1st is my drop with Spencer's, so I basically just lock in and do that. And then like November 5th, we end up flying back to California, and I can't remember if anything had really happened within this time. I know the same verbal abuse and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna fast forward to November 17th. I haven't talked about the story yet. There's multiple witnesses to this one, but this is one of the most traumatizing days of my life for a lot of reasons.
I mean, that's considering everything we've heard in both of these parts so far, I can't imagine what the fuck is about to happen here.
November 17th, 2024, we got invited to a birthday party, and it was like a birthday party at this house. It was like a really big mansion in the Beverly Hills, and we had all gotten on the list to go, so obviously we were gonna go. So me, Emma, and my boyfriend arrived to this party, and within the first 10 minutes of being there, I don't know where he went. I don't know where he went. So I'm just talking to all my girlfriends. I'm catching up with them. And I remember this night, I did not drink anything besides 2 twisted teas before we had left, because at this party, they only had tequila and vodka. Really off topic, but I can't
pre-gaming.
drink anything besides Fireball. So I just was like, I'm not going to drink. So I'm like completely sober. And so I'm just catching up with my girlfriends. I'm talking to Emma, and I see my boyfriend in like the very corner of the house, like talking to this group of guys that I've never met before, but I was like, whatever, he needs to make some friends. Sorry, that was funny.
Okay.
So I see him over there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go outside with my girlfriends. He'll definitely meet me out there. So I go downstairs and I go into the backyard, and there's just like these people on stilts doing like dances, and like people are dancing, and there's a DJ. So I'm just out there dancing with my friends, having a good time. And like 45 minutes passes, and I realize that I have not seen my boyfriend at all. And I'm like, where is he? Because this is like very not common for him. At any party
What is he, like, cheating on her at this point?
we would go to, he would like have to be hip to hip with me, otherwise he would think I was cheating. Like I was not allowed to leave my boyfriend's side when we went out. So I was like, where did he go? Like, why is he not calling me, texting me? Like I was just really confused. So I try to call him, it goes to voicemail. I don't like, he just wasn't answering. So I'm pretty sure I end up like going back inside, and I see him like with a bottle of Golden Goose, and he's just like complete.
Yeah, he needs to make his friends as an understatement. True. He needs to make like a dad hit him or something. Something. He needs like a fucking attitude adjustment.
Completely obliterated. And so we end up like walking. So I'm pretty sure I end up like going back inside, and I see him like with a bottle of Golden Goose, and he's just like completely obliterated. And so we end up like walking up the stairs, and we go to this balcony, and he just starts projectile vomiting all over like this balcony and like off the balcony. And I'm like, okay, can't do that. Like this is a house. Like we can't just projectile vomit. So I'm like, let's go to the bathroom so you could actually throw up. And he's like so obliterated, like he can't even walk. Like I've never in my life seen somebody this drunk. Like there's no words for it. So I end up like taking him up, because it's like 3 stories of this house. And so I'm walking him up the 3rd story to like the top floor where the bathroom is and like the front door and everything. And I'm walking him up, and he just projectile vomits all over the floor. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I was gone for 45 minutes. Like, what could you have possibly done in this time? So I end up like trying to get him into the bathroom. He's refusing to get into the bathroom. And that's when security comes up to me, because it's house party. It's LA.
I was about to say fucking security at a house party, but I guess that makes sense.
Security. So they go up to me and they're like, hey, he's way too messed up. Like, you're going to have to take him home. And at this point, we'd only been at the party for like an hour. So I'm like pissed off, but I'm like, whatever.
Sure. Sometimes I do that, though. I'll be honest with you. I get like really drunk really quick. I mean, I don't start projectile vomiting. I just get sleepy and like a little, I'll say handsy with my wife. Not the type of handsy that this guy is, just to be absolutely clear here. You know, just more of like the, yeah.
He is obviously way too obliterated to be here. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take him outside and call an Uber. So I take him outside, and he just immediately lays down on this like grass patch. I really wish I could insert the picture. And he's just like laying on this grass patch, and his head's back, and he's just like looking like he's asleep. And so that's when Emma and these 2 other girls come up to me, and they're like, is he like okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen him this messed up before.
I will say, if there was a God, he would have gotten alcohol poisoning. You know what I'm saying?
And the girl's like, well, my friend's saying that she saw him chug an entire bottle of Golden Goose. Or Grey Goose, whatever that vodka's called. They had seen him chug an entire bottle of it downstairs. And I'm like, great, so that explains it. He's just like belligerently drunk. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, it's just one of those nights. I'm gonna have to take him home, whatever. So I end up calling an Uber, and while I'm waiting for the Uber, he starts throwing up like red stuff.
It's terrible too, because he's like so drunk. If she decided to crash the car or something to try to, you know, like he'd probably survive, because you're all loose. That's one of the reasons why when a drunk driver hits somebody else, like they don't, they're like their body doesn't like tighten up for the impact. If that makes any sense, you know?
Stuff on the mulch on the ground. And I'm like, what is that? So I think it's blood, and people around me think it's blood. Other people think it's Takis. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I go to call 911, because I was getting really concerned at this point. And the bouncer comes up to me. He's like, no, we have a medic on site. Like, they'll
Takis at a white person's party? Come on.
take a look at him. So the medic comes up, and
it's cultural appropriation, dude.
They like examine him. They talk to him for like 15 minutes, and they come up to me and they're like, he's perfectly fine. He's just drunk. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, that's like red food dye. Like, you're fine. I'm like, okay. So basically just told me to get him home. So the Uber ends up arriving.
Yeah, that's true. So he can't even let her have like a good night, you know? Like, he beats her on the bad nights, and on the good nights he fucking vomits everywhere and has to go home early.
And it takes 4 grown men to carry his body into the back of the Uber. And
I'm gonna cast a little doubt on that. Only because he's he looks like a broccoli-headed teenager, to be honest with you. Okay.
So he's on this side, I'm on this side, and we're on the way back to my house. And the house party that we were at, just so that this makes more sense, it is very, very deep in the hills. So it's like 20 minutes up the hill and then 20 minutes down the hill until you even get on to the main road, Ventura. So he's driving down this hill, and there's traffic from people leaving the party. It's just like, it's a shit show. And the whole time, my boyfriend's in the back just like moaning and groaning and like opening the door and trying to like jump out of the car and like throw up. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm having to try to help him, and it's just like dead weight, and he's trying to open the door, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So the Uber is like, is he okay? And I'm like, yeah, like the medic said he was just really drunk. Like, I don't know. Like he was gone for 30 minutes. Like
I will say it's like really nice of her not to try to reenact the Uber driver's accent, you know what I mean? Like I appreciate that. You know, white people are too comfortable sometimes.
don't know like what happened. So we end up getting to the bottom of the hill and we turn onto Ventura, the main road, like literally immediately turn down, and we're maybe 15-20 minutes away from my house at this point, and all of a sudden he looks at me and he's like, I can't breathe. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't breathe? Like, or what do you mean? And he's like, I can't breathe. And you know, I've said that to him before and he never cared, but
This is when you let God do his work, you know what I mean?
I cared. So I was like, what are you talking about? And so that's when the Uber's like, hey, I'm hearing what's going on, like I'm gonna pull over. So the Uber driver pulls over, and that's when I go to check his pulse. And I don't feel anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? So on his car side door, he's facing oncoming traffic. So I'm on the side by the sidewalk, or on the side of Ventura, and I grab his limp body and I'm dragging him to my side of the Uber. The door's open. I'm trying to get him on pavement, and half of his body is in the Uber, half of the body's leaning out onto the pavement. And the Uber starts to check his pulse and doesn't feel anything. He's like, call 911, call 911. So I get on the phone with 911, and I'm telling them that my boyfriend is not breathing.
Wow.
And they're like, okay, we're sending an ambulance on the way. So at that point, I start to give him CPR. And I'm on the side of Ventura Highway at midnight, giving him CPR. And at that point, he begins to have a seizure. And what looked like, I don't know if it might have still been just the red food coloring, starts coming out of his mouth. So there's just like blood coming out of his mouth.
This is such a horrible moment because like it's conflicting. On the one hand, like she's deeply upset about this moment where her boyfriend was like having a seizure. And on the other hand, it makes me a little bit happy that he was having a seizure. I'm not trying to be rude, but you know, he's a real piece of dog shit.
And he's seizing on the side of Ventura Highway. And so I'm sitting there giving him CPR, sucking the blood out of his mouth. And 15 minutes later, the paramedics arrived, and at that point, he had woken up. He was breathing. And so they grab him, and they bring him into the ambulance, and I call an Uber to the hospital. And by the time I get there, they're not telling me anything that's going on. I have no idea what's going on with him. And
I'm going to give you guys a story just because I need a, a pace breaker here, okay? Oop, I actually muted it instead of pause it. There was one time where somebody called an Uber for I did Uber for a little while, Uber and Lyft. Like I was working my regular job, and then I was doing Uber and stuff on the side, you know, to make a little extra money. And I remember this one girl called me, and this was crazy. She was at a hotel, and she got into my car with like trying to cover up this huge gash she had in her leg. And she's like, I gotta go to the hospital. I was like, holy fuck. So I got my car. I get her in there. You know, I'm not even thinking about it, but like, I'm hoping she's not getting blood on my car. I'm driving to the hospital, and we're talking, you know, trying to keep her a little calm. And she's telling me that, I don't know, her boyfriend was there with another girl or something. And so she got pissed and kicked like the door, the glass, like sliding door, and fucking cut up her leg. Isn't that insane? So I get to like the emergency room drop off, and I get out, and I let her out. I was like, okay, like hope you're okay, blah blah blah. And like I go to drive away, and the security guard's there. He's like, you're not gonna go in with her? I said, I don't even know her. I'm just an Uber. He's like, oh fuck, I wouldn't have even take her to the hospital. I said, oh, that's terrible. It was fucked up. You know, I was like, I gotta take her to the hospital. But Jesus Christ, even if she got some blood on my thing, it's just fucking crazy. But yeah, that was just like a crazy story that I wanted to tell you guys about as a little bit of a breaker. They
grab him and they bring him into the ambulance, and I call an Uber to the hospital. And by the time I get there, they're not telling me anything that's going on. I have no idea what's going on with him, and I'm just freaking out. I call his mom, I call his dad, I call my mom, my dad, because I don't know what to do. It's like 3 a.m. at this.
He has a dad and he's acting like that? That's crazy. It's hard to believe, bro. It's my son. He wouldn't be acting like that.
And I had just basically seen him.
I'm very pro-choice, just so you guys know.
Die, and I was so fucking traumatized. Like to this day, like when I drink with people, like literally one of my friends a few days ago was like drunk and was like acting like he was passed out. Like I actually like freak out. Like I can't. That shit actually traumatized me. So I'm in there just freaking out. I don't know what to do, and then all of a sudden, I get a text from his phone number, and it says, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, mind you, it's only been an hour since he was checked into the hospital. So he calls me and he's like, "Hey," and he sounds perfectly fine, and he's like, "Hey, where are you at? Like, I just got out of the hospital. Like, where are you? Let's go home." And I'm like,
how the fuck do you get out of a hospital in an hour? What the fuck?
what do you mean you're ready to go home? And he's like, "Let's go." So 5 minutes later, he walks out of the doors into the waiting room, and he's walking, he's talking, he's fine. The nurse walks back in. Nobody tells me anything. To this day, I have no idea what they did in that hospital. He tells me that
I'm gonna tell you, they did a little too much is what they did in the hospital. That's all I'm saying.
they pumped his stomach, but after talking to nurses and stuff, he wouldn't have only been in there for an hour if that's what happened. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. So I end up calling us an Uber back home. And while we're in the Uber, he's talking to me perfectly fine. And I'm like, "Do you understand what just happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." And I'm just like in the Uber sobbing. And I'm like, "That is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like, what happened?" And he's like, "I don't know. I think I was roofied or something. Like, I don't know."
What?
Spoiler alert.
He's roofied?
He did a drug test. He did not take any drugs. He did not get roofied. It was none of that. He ended up drinking too much. He drank too much. He drank an entire bottle of Grey Goose that night. Vodka within 30 minutes of
Probably didn't even pay for it because he's poor. You know?
being there. So anyways, we get back home and we're laying in bed and I'm just like talking to him and I'm explaining to him what happened and how scared I was. And
I only use poor as an insult because it makes him self-conscious. It seems that's one of the issues he has with the relationship is that she makes more money than him, even though he has no problem accepting the gifts. But gotta get your shots in.
just everything. And I was kind of just crying to him. And that's when he looks at me and he goes, "I'll never fucking forget this." He looks at me and he goes, "Do you think I should stop drinking?"
I would say no. No, you shouldn't. You should just keep going. Keep letting it out. Just keep doing your thing. Keep going. That's what I would say. Finish yourself off. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you should stop drinking." And he's like, "Okay, well then you should stop drinking." And I'm like, "Dude, I've been sober all night. Like, I don't have a drinking problem. Like, this, like, I'm..."
It's funny because in like a normal relationship, like like if my wife was an alcoholic, I wouldn't drink, right? But this is not that. So yeah.
Fine. I'm fine. If I go out, I'm still gonna...
Also, he absolutely would not go both ways with that. Like if my wife was an alcoholic or I was an alcoholic, the both of us would quit drinking alcohol. Right? This guy strangles his girlfriend and tries to kill her. So I think that maybe there's probably a little bit of a difference in the way that they treat each other.
Like, no, but you need to stop. And it was like a switch flipped. And
They get angry.
he looks at me and he's like, "What the fuck do you mean?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You think I have a fucking problem with drinking? You think I'm a fucking alcoholic? What the fuck's wrong with you?" And he starts like screaming at me and he's like, "You're a slut, you're a whore, fuck you," and just starts screaming at me. So I get up and I'm like, "Are you serious right now? Are you serious? I just gave you CPR on the side of Ventura to try to resuscitate you, and you're sitting here screaming at me, calling me all, like, I just saved your life tonight, and you're sitting here calling me these names? If I sent you in that Uber alone, you would have from alcohol poisoning, and you're sitting here verbally abusing me, calling me a whore, a slut, like, saying that I mean nothing to you, like, that you're gonna go F your ex, like, are you kidding me?" So I look at him, and I'm like, "I'm not sleeping with you tonight. You can have my bedroom, but I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm not doing this. Like, you have just, like, blown my mind right now, and I know you're sober. I know you're fucking sober right now." So I walk out of the room, and I go lay on the couch. And within 5 minutes of me being on the couch, I hear him open my bedroom doors. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to try. I hear him open my bedroom doors, and he immediately just starts screaming at me. He's like, "You're an effing slut. You're not sleeping on the couch. You're sleeping in the bed with me. Get the F up. You're sleeping on the bed with me. You're sleeping on the bed with me. Get the F up. You're not sleeping on this couch." And I'm like, "I'm not. You just disrespected the fuck out of me. Like, I'm not going anywhere near you. I'm not sleeping in that room with you after what you just said. I'm not going to sit there and cuddle with you. Like, are you serious?" And so he just keeps screaming at me and getting closer. And at this point, he's like right up here on the couch, and I'm like sleeping like this. And he's like, "You're not sleeping on the couch. Get in the room with me now." And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "I effing hate you. I effing hate you." And he grabs my arm and he tries to pull me up. And I'm like, "No, I'm not going up with you." And he moves to the end of the couch where my legs are. And he stands up on the couch. He looks me in the eyes and starts punching me as hard as he can everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
Fully cocking his arm back and swinging as hard as he can into my body. Punches me in my head, like everywhere, like I can't explain it. Like, he fully just cocking his shit back and swinging it into me as hard as he can.
Jesus fucking Christ. It really would have been better off if he just died of alcohol poisoning. Let's be real, okay? This is fucking insane.
And after he did it for about 20 seconds straight, I knew he wasn't going to stop until I wasn't breathing. He just kept punching the fuck out of me. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs for him to stop. I'm screaming so fucking loud. But I knew nobody would hear me because I thought I was home alone. I'm just screaming, and he's looking me in the face as he's doing this, and his eyes are literally just like nothing in them. And he's just swinging and swinging and swinging, and I'm just screaming. And like, whenever he would hit me or put his hands on me, I could.
Bro, it's fucking insane because I believe everything that she's saying, but it's just like, at what point do you just like get the fuck out of there? You know, I'm fucking struggling with ignorance, but I mean, this is insane. I mean, we're at a point now where he is like actively, violently assaulting her. Like, when the fuck do you call the cops or like something? I don't fucking get it. You know, that one's crazy to me. Like, after the fucking strangulation one, that was already fucking crazy enough.
Always like.
I mean, maybe she's just afraid of him, but still, it's like, damn.
And when it was dying down, like when it was like slowing down, like, you know, the punches were getting slower. Or he was, instead of punching, he would slap or like grab or kick or something. But he was punching me as hard as he could, and he wasn't stopping, and I didn't feel like he was stopping. And I know that he wouldn't have stopped if, after a minute of this happening, Emma woke up, because this was right up against her wall, and heard me screaming and opened the door and saw him on top of me, fully swinging and punching me. So she walks out, and I didn't even know she was home, and he gets off, and he just starts screaming at her, and he's like, "Fuck you, slut," to my roommate, and walks back into my room and slams the door. So at that point, I get up, and I'm just crying, and I didn't want to tell her what was happening, but I don't even know what I told her. Because I refused to admit it to anybody at this point. I don't even know what I told her. And she was like, "What is going on? Like, I woke up to you screaming." I was just like, "I didn't know you were home." Thank God you were fucking home. Thank fucking God. Like,
it's fucked up, and it's a really good thing that Emma has no social life. She's kind of a loser, because if not, then this would have been fucking so much worse. So W Emma, you know what I'm saying? This is fucking terrible shit. Jesus Christ.
Genuinely, if Emma was not home those 2 nights, this video would not be here, but I think there would have been a funeral. So it's just crazy to think that, like, really, if she wasn't home both of those fucking nights, I would not fucking be here. So at that point, he walks back out of the room and starts saying the most disgusting things you could say to a person. Those videos are posted in part 1 at the end of the video.
Yeah, okay, we saw that. I had to cut it out of the fucking video. It was so horrible that I like legitimately had to just cut it out of the video. Like, there's no fucking way I could have left that in there. That was insane.
Where he's saying I mean nothing to him. He starts talking really disgustingly about my body. He's just screaming, "You mean nothing to me. You're a fucking slut. You mean nothing to me. I'm gone in the morning." Saying just horrible things about my body, and those are probably some of the worst things he's ever said to me. I take that back. Not the worst, but pretty bad. So that night, so after he starts screaming those things at the end of the video,
makes me feel kind of silly, because like the worst thing anyone's ever said to me is probably when my I met my sister, my half sister's mom. I've told the story before, but I met my half sister's mom. And like the first time we met, she said, "Oh, you would look so much nicer if you were thinner," because I was a chunky kid. And that was the worst thing that anyone's ever said to me. And this girl's got her fucking abusive boyfriend telling her horrible things. And what's really terrible is she was telling the story about how he almost died of overdosing, which would have been God punishing him correctly. So she didn't even get that justice from God, but God gave my sister's mom breast cancer. So it is a little unfair. It's a little unfair for her, you know, that I get justice and she doesn't. So
you can see me go into Emma's room, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do, because at this point I didn't want him in my room because I thought he was going to start destroying my stuff because he was so aggressive and he had never really punched me like that before. So I go into Emma's room to talk to her. We close the door and we lock it. Her room was the only room with a lock on it. So we go in there and we're talking, and we hear him start coming back up.
I was like 14, bro. Okay.
Towards Emma's room. And he's like, let me in, let me the F in, let me the F in. And we're like, no, you're like, no, we just saw what, like, she just saw what happened and I just experienced what you just did. Like, you're not coming back in. So at that point, he starts punching the wall as hard as he can. There's pictures of that on part 1 as well. He starts punching the door as hard as he can, to the point where there's holes in the door, and he ends up breaking the lock on the door, and he gets in. And me and Emma are leaned up against the bed, like, not knowing what he's gonna do, and he just starts screaming at us, saying, sluts, whores, we deserved it. Stuff like that. So we're just sitting there, and then Emma gets up to him and is like, get the F out of my room, you're crazy, get out of my room, like, do not touch her, get away from her. And so he grabs her vape and then just walks out and goes into my room and closes the door.
What I find a little strange is that he doesn't seem to be, like, he's not hitting Emma. That's a little strange to me. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because he is identified. I wonder what Emma looks like, but I wonder if it's because he identified Emma as somebody like he can't like hit, in the sense that he seems to only abuse people or go after people who he feels are like weaker, like are weak enough to be able to take advantage of. Like, it's not like he's like going after people with any level of strength. Like, he's going after people that he feels are weak and then trying to harm them because he feels like he can. That seems to be like his operation, his way that he operates specifically. And so I wonder if there's something about that that makes him feel like he can't go after her because she's like stronger. Maybe she'll fucking stab him or something.
And so I ended up going to bed on the couch, and I did not sleep until 7 a.m. because I was so scared that he was going to come out of that room and get me while I was on the couch. The next morning we woke up and he said he remembered none of it.
I don't know how much I believe that. I feel like he does remember. He just doesn't care. There's no way. But that's like an excuse, because then again, they get to go like, oh, he doesn't remember getting violently drunk, going to the hospital, coming out almost fine after they pumped his stomach, and then beating me once I said maybe he should stop drinking because he has a drinking problem that sent him to the hospital. I feel like he remembers it, but then he gets to pose this like as a different person. Oh, I don't even remember that. That's crazy. And that's like, okay, well, that wasn't him then. Right? Like, I wonder if that's the suggestion that he's putting into her mind. But I think that he remembers.
Actually just reminded me of this. Holy shit. Wow, I forgot about this one. This was back in July. I'm gonna speed through this one since it's out of timeline, but it kind of has to do with this. This is bad. This was sometime in July. I'm guessing end of July. It was his first week in California visiting me. So beginning of July. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about. This was hard. This was in July. I don't know the exact date. I could probably find it, but he had started to be really, really, really rude to me.
I'm sorry, he started? That's just crazy to me. What the fuck? We just got like... He's been fucking really rude. What the hell does it mean if he's getting even ruder?
This was like when he started to get really verbally aggressive.
Why wouldn't you just call the cops if you've seen your friend go through that? I don't know. I feel like maybe part of it's that they don't want to make him even more angry, and like if she's really is in love with him, then she might not like go along with like, oh yeah, this happened, and it could just make him even angrier. There's like a lot of fear. I can understand it. Like I can get it. I couldn't fully understand it because I would call the cops, but like I can get it.
And once again, this was in July, so he hadn't gotten physical with me yet, but he was really being verbal. And I forgot what the argument was even about or how it started, but I'll never forget this. He looks at me, and this was when I was in a really bad mental space because my dad had just stopped talking to me. So I really didn't have a lot of people in my life at this point, especially my family wasn't in my life.
Bro, I'm just the fucking dad thing gets me every time. She doesn't have her dad. Like that's crazy to me. Like her dad was somebody who, from what I remember, would treat her not as bad as he did, but similarly. And now he's not in her life to protect her. And like not to get super fucking regressive, but like what a failure of a man to not protect your own daughter by being there for her to take care of this guy the way that he needs to be taken care of, but then also to just teach her how a man should be treating her so she doesn't put up with his fucking behavior. Really all goes back to fucking weak men.
My dad wasn't. And he looks at me and he said, yourself. Looks me in the face and goes, yourself. And then hands me a bottle of pills.
Oh, he's saying take your own life. Okay, I wasn't getting it at first. She's censoring that. Understandable. I get it. It was probably like flagged in YouTube or something.
So I open them and I pour about half of them in my mouth. And he looks at me and he's like, did you actually just do that? And I'm like, yeah. So at that point, he comes over to me and
was he just making a silly little joke to take her own life? Haha, got her. What the fuck?
It grabs my face and I just spit them all over the floor. And so there's just pills all over the floor. And he's like, did you swallow any? And I was like, no, but like are you, like I'm crying at this point. And I'm like, do you not understand like what you just did? Like you just looked at me and told me to myself. Why are you acting concerned? And so he's like, I don't believe that you didn't take any. And I'm like, dude, I didn't take any. Like, I didn't actually swallow any, but like, I'm really upset with what you just said. You gave me the bottle. So he goes on his phone and he's like, I'm calling 911. I'm calling the cops. And I'm like, why are you calling the cops? And he looks at me and he goes, and this is like right when he had gotten out of jail. And he goes, I want you to sit in a cell the same way I did.
What? For what?
And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just told me to myself. So he ends up calling the cops and he says, my girlfriend just swallowed an entire bottle of pills. You guys need to help her. I don't think she's right.
What the fuck? That's like somehow that is the most unhinged thing that he's ever done to her. Force her to take a bunch of pills so he can call the cops so that they'll take her and put her into a jail cell. Like that's a level of psychological manipulation that I'm just fucking flat. I'm honestly floored. I would never even have imagined that. That's insane. What the fuck?
While we're waiting for the cops to show up, I'm just sitting in my room alone crying because I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He just told me to myself and then call the police because he wanted me to go to jail. I don't fucking understand what's going on. And so the police show up. There's two cops and he talks to one, I talk to the other, and he's like, hey, are you okay? You know, we got to call that. You took these pills. And mind you, as we were walking down my stairs to go talk to the cops, he looks at me and he goes, I hope you go to jail tonight so you know what it's like. I hope you go to jail tonight so you know what it's like to go to jail.
Why?
And I'm like, what the fuck?
You want to go
like
to
he
jail?
wanted me to get Baker acted basically for taking the pills, even though he had told me to myself. I didn't take any. I spit them all out. I guess I was just...
I imagine they're going to do some kind of test on her anyway, but Jesus.
Trying to like prove a point. You know, if you tell me to do something like that, I'm already really in a bad headspace. I don't know.
Yeah, no. What it sounds like to me was that they were in some kind of they were probably arguing or something, and he's like, "Take these pills," as like I know you won't do it kind of a thing. Like, oh, if you're gonna be fucking crazy, take these pills, because he's probably pushing her to the point that she's going insane. Like that's what this relationship is. And he's like, "Oh, take these pills. You're crazy," blah blah. And she just does it. Like not expecting that, and him going, "What the fuck?" But like, yeah, because you're fucking chiseling her away. It's insane. What the fuck?
So I'm talking to the cop and he's like, hey, we got a call. You know, your boyfriend seems really concerned about you maybe have taken some tonight. Like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't actually take any. I'm fine. I promise I'm fine. You could do a test on me. Like, I'm perfectly fine. And he's like, well, you're having a normal conversation with me right now. It's been like 30 minutes since the call, so I know you're fine. And he looks at me and he goes, you have a very caring boyfriend. Your boyfriend cares a lot about you to make that call.
Is the cop dumb? Okay, sorry. You know what? That's not fair. The cop probably thinks that the guy's just like worried about her, but what the fuck? I don't know. My thing is like, okay, well, she's obviously not on pills, so like the fact that he's even saying that, but I don't know. I guess it's not a red flag from the cop. It's just like, what the fuck? Okay.
And so they end up leaving, and I walk up the stairs with him, and he looks at me, and he goes, fuck, bro. I really wish they took you away.
What a caring guy.
And he was pissed. He was mad at me for the rest of the night because I did not get Baker acted for him telling me to myself and then giving me a bottle of pills. So that's one of the reasons I wish I didn't trauma block. Like, I wish my brain didn't do that, because I really wish how it even got to that point. I wish I knew. But I'll never forget that. The reason I will never forget that story is because I've never had a man that I'm dating look me in the eyes in my house and say, yourself, and then actually want me to, and then call the cops to try to get me. Yeah, so like literally he said self when he knew I was going through a tough time and we were in an argument, and then here, and then I and then spit them out immediately, and then he called the police to try to get me Baker acted or arrested because he said he wanted to see me sit in a cell just like him. Well, newsflash, buddy, I will not sit in a cell for domestic violence like you. So anyways, I just wanted to add that in. December 22nd wasn't a physical one, but it kind of just shows how crazy things were at this point. December 22nd, or December 20th, I guess, I end up going to, what was it, like Knoxville, I'm pretty sure it's called, Tennessee, to stay in a cabin with him and his family. And I don't want to bring family into this, so
what the fuck? Obviously his families are a bunch of failures. If he's acting like this, why do you think he's acting like this? Because mommy and daddy didn't do enough to stop him. So
it's not about that. But we stayed with them. It was a great time.
Like, I'll tell you, if I ever acted a fucking tenth of the way this guy acted, my mother would beat me. Like, I don't understand. Like, I hate to be like a little aggressive, but like sometimes you deserve to get beat. Like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking insane to me.
Whatever. But December 22nd, we ended up leaving so that I could fly back home to see my family for my birthday, because my birthday is on the 24th. And that morning, I wake up at like 7 a.m. We both do. And we go head upstairs to eat breakfast. And as we're on the way upstairs, I'm like, oh, shoot, like I need to grab a phone charger because my phone was like at 7%. And we were about to leave to go on like a 3-hour car ride back to Nashville from, is it Knoxville? It's called, I'm not sure. It was like a 3-hour car ride. So I was like, I need to charge my phone. So as we're walking upstairs, I just turn around and I go downstairs to go grab my charger. So I'm looking around for my charger. I can't find my charger. And his brother is the only other person downstairs. And so his brother's just doing his own thing, packing up. And I'm looking for the charger. And then all of a sudden my boyfriend comes down and he's like, what the F are you doing? What the F are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm looking for my charger. Like, could you actually help me? Like, I need to charge my phone. It's like literally about to die. And he's like, no, you're not looking for your charger. You're not looking for your charger. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I know what you're trying to do. So then he goes into one of the other rooms downstairs.
Trying to fuck your brother? I don't understand. What does he think?
And he finds my charger within like 5 seconds. I hadn't looked in that room yet. I don't fucking know. Grabs it. And
it's a typical male behavior to not be able to find chargers in front of your face, just to be clear.
He's like, your charger's right here. What are you actually doing down here? And I'm like...
It's weird that he knew exactly where... Well, maybe it's not weird. I mean, maybe he just knew where it was, but I don't know. Knowing him, it's weird that he knew where it was. It's that, you know what I mean? Like, did he hide the charger? I know that sounds like a weird, almost conspiracy theory. But based on the way this guy's acts... Like, did he hide her charger just to be like, oh, you fucking idiot? I know you're not here looking for it, so we could start a problem.
Looking for my charger. Like, I didn't check that room yet. Like, I was checking my suitcases and my bags. Like, I wasn't checking the other room. And
coming from mom, it is big. Well, you don't have to spank your kids. You know, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to. But there's times if my kid was acting like this, I would be beating the crap out of him. I don't
know. He was like, no, I know what you were trying to do. And so at that point, I knew he was insinuating that I went down there to try to F his brother.
Yep.
So I end up saying bye to his family, and we get in the truck, and we start driving back, and it was me, him, and his brother, and I really don't want to bring other people in this story at all, so I'm really just going to focus on this, but we're all...
I'm sure his brother failed as well.
In the truck, and he is saying that he's done with me, that I'm a whore, that I'm a slut, and he's like, don't you agree? Like, she's a whore, she's a slut, like she'll just F anything. Like,
And then he probably was going along with it because he's a weak piece of dog shit because that's his brother. Yeah, 100%.
I'm so sick of her. Like, I know what you were trying to do down there. Basically saying that I was trying to F his brother. Saying that I was trying to F his brother at a family vacation. Because I went downstairs to get my charger for 5 seconds at 7 in the morning.
What's fucked up is like he's saying, oh, I'm done with you, we're leaving. But like, you know that it's not true. You know, he's not actually trying to leave her. He has like a hold over her. He wants to be with her. I doubt that he was the one who initiated the end of the relationship, honestly.
And this wasn't even the craziest person that he had accused me of wanting to hook up with. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my stepdad. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my brother-in-law. He accused me of wanting to hook up with every single one of his friends. He accused me of wanting to hook up with my friends, or my best friend's boyfriend. He accused me of wanting to hook up with the gas station workers. He had accused me, I wasn't allowed to talk to men. I wasn't allowed to talk to men, and I didn't know up until this point that rule extended to his family.
We can't even make like a fun joke because of how horrible this is. You know what I mean? Like if this was just like a silly little situation, I could be like, yeah, like, you know, so relatable. You know, just like silly men are insecure sometimes, you know? Can't even have fun with it, you know? Because this is how fucking abusive this guy is.
So he basically accused me of effing his brother, and while he's doing this, I'm just crying in the back seat because
what's the brother doing? What the fuck is the brother doing, bro?
This was my last time I was going to see him before I went back home to Indiana for my birthday, and I'm just in the back seat absolutely sobbing, and I'll post this on TikTok or something, but before he had even apologized, he's still accusing me of wanting to F his brother. He responds to a comment on Snapchat saying, "Are you going to propose to her?" And he does like a little wink face as a response. And I'm in the back crying.
What did people think, that like you were crying because he proposed or something?
Hadn't even apologized, but he was responding to comments on Snapchat about proposing to me. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. And so then we end up going to a gas station about 2 hours later, and I'm in the gas station crying, just picking out snacks, and he goes up to me and he's like, I think I was just hungry.
If you want to see proof, you can go to like her TikTok or something. We've shown the proof in like the first part. There's really no need for us to see the proof of all the stuff that's going on. Like, he is a legitimately abusive person.
Like, I don't know why I was being so rude to you, but like, it's okay now. I was just hungry. And
I mean, I get like a little fucking rude when I'm hungry too. But I mean, Jesus.
I didn't even know what to say. I was like, do you understand? You were just sitting here calling me a slut for 2 hours and accusing me of wanting to. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I'm hungry, I get a little cold to my wife, and she says, all right, you're hungry. You're pissing me off right now. And then I just get quiet, and then I eat. And then she goes, you feel better? And then I'm like, yeah. And same thing with her. We both do the same thing to each other. It's normal. They fucking calling somebody a whore and shit. It's fucking insane.
Then we get to New Year's. Once again, isn't a time he got physical, but something that had happened. On New Year's, me, Emma, Ashley, my twin, Ben, my twin's now fiance.
Jesus, she has a twin? What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm like honestly surprised. I don't know. I just felt like that. I feel like that's a. I don't know. That's what a big reveal. Like finding out somebody that you've seen that has like a twin. That's a huge reveal. You have a fucking twin.
Brennan and my boyfriend all decided to go to Vegas for New Year's. And a main reason for this was because Ben, my sister's now fiance, was going to propose. So we all knew that he was going to propose, besides her, obviously. So I made sure, or everybody made sure, that this day was about them. And I remember specifically looking at my boyfriend and said, do not fight with me about anything today. This is about them.
Yeah, it's weird that you'd even have to just fucking say that. It's a fucking wedding day. No shit, you know what I mean?
He's going to propose to her. And yeah. Like,
okay, whatever. You get my point. My logic still applies.
Please, if you have an issue tonight, because you always do, please just wait till the morning, like, have that respect. And he's like, I will. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. So we get
wow, who would have known?
To Vegas, and we start walking around, and immediately he's just mad at me. I don't know why. And he ends up storming off in the casino, and I don't know where he's at. Turns out he was with Ben and Brennan 2 hours before Ben's about to propose to my sister, sitting there. And mind you, I've known Ben for 5 years. Sitting there being like, Ben, don't you know that she's a slut? Like, she's such a slut. Like
which one? The sister? Like her the one she's gonna propose to, or the sister?
I just can't do it anymore. Like, if she doesn't just like change, I'm gonna break up with her by next month. Like, I just can't deal with her. Like, she's such a slut. Da, da, da. And Ben's just sitting there like, yeah, man. You know, he's not even trying to argue. He's about to propose in 2 hours. So
wow, it's like they gotta fucking walk on eggshells around this guy. I'll tell you, I wouldn't.
I'm with Emma and Ashley at this point, and we're just all having a good time. I told myself I was not going to let anything he does destroy this time. And at this point, I told him, I was like, hey, when the clock hits midnight, I'm not going to be able to kiss you right away because I have to record a video of my sister getting engaged. Like, I really want to see that. And he had gotten really pissed off, and he was like, oh, so that matters more to you than me? And I'm like,
yes. What do you mean? Yes. Of course, like, it's New Year's, right? I get wanting to kiss your girlfriend on New Year's or whatever, but like, it's a wait 5 seconds. I don't know,
dude. Just fuck off. Anyway, so we end up all walking outside for like the ball drop, and at this point he was not talking to me. He was not speaking to me. He had not talked to me all night, and the ball drops. My sister gets proposed to, and after I'm done recording, I go up to him as fireworks are still going off, and he starts yelling at me. On New Year's Eve, as the fireworks are going off, he's sitting there yelling at me, saying that I want to F Ben.
Jesus Christ.
Saying that I want to fuck my sister's fiance. And that was how I started my New Year's. And then after that...
Wow. This Evan Johnson, that's somebody asked what his name was in the chat.
That we decided we wanted to go to a club. So all of us were really excited. We're like, let's go. And so we get to this club and we see that covers $50. But I had already spent like $100 on this Uber, and I was like, hey guys, let's just do it. So everybody's down to spend $50 except my boyfriend.
Because he's a broke bitch.
So we get up to the front and they're like, hey, it'll be $50 to my boyfriend. And he's pissed. And he's like, are you kidding me? And he starts cussing out the lady at the front who's supposed to take the money. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Why would... I don't know. Oh, did they not know it was going to be... I guess they got there not expecting... Whatever, dude. Just pay the $50. Like, you can be annoyed and just complain to your girlfriend or whatever.
And he looks at me and he's like, okay, well, let's just leave. And I'm like, everybody already paid cover and is inside. Like, I'm not just going to leave everybody. And like, if you're mad about spending $50, I just spent $100 on an Uber. Like, I'm just trying to explain to him. I'm like, it's $50.
That's just... that, to me, like... I'm going to give you the fucking drop a little bit of a hot take. How can you be abusive, but then also not pay? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but this guy's beating her all the time. Horrible. But he's not even paying. You know, like, nobody should ever be abusive, and like, you deserve something that would be bannable if I said it. But I mean, where does it come from? Because the other guys, you know, they're like, they're beating their girlfriends, but they're paying for everything because they're upholding what they think a man should be. But you can't even pay a $50 fucking door charge to get into a thing, and you're beating your girlfriend. That's just fucking crazy to me. I mean, I know it's crazy regardless, but that's just fucking additionally crazy to me. You know, it's just like, Jesus fuck.
$50, like, please, like, I want them to celebrate their engagement. Like, come on. And he looks at me, he's pissed, he gives the lady $50, and I'm behind him, I pay my $50. And I remember she looked at me and she goes, sweetie, he's not the one. Damn. And I'm just like, and mind you, this was like an hour after ball drop fight had happened. So we get inside.
You thought it was a power washer? I think he did supposedly did like odd jobs or something dumb like that. Like, he did like odd jobs going to people and being like, hey, could I wash your fucking balls or whatever? Like something stupid like that.
5 minutes within us walking in, he turns around and he looks at me straight in the face and he goes, I fucking hate you, and turns around.
The fuck?
He said he fucking hates me because he had to pay $50 for cover to celebrate my sister getting proposed to on New Year's.
That's wild.
So at that point, I run into the bathroom and I just start sobbing, and I just didn't want anybody to see that I was crying, so I didn't want to ruin their engagement. When I walk out of the bathroom, he's standing there and he's like, oh, really? You really want to do that? And I'm like, what? And I turn around and I see that the bathroom is an all-gender bathroom. And he then accused me of hooking up with
going into the bathroom and fucking a guy. Right? He's just trying to create situations where he gets to be mad at her. Yeah.
Somebody in the bathroom because it was an all-gender bathroom, and then ignored me for the rest of the night. We get back to the Airbnb. He has not spoken a word to me. And he goes into the room and lays down and falls asleep. And at that point, I go into the kitchen, and Ben and Ashley are talking. And I just say, is it normal? Like, is this normal? Like, Ben, have you ever said you hate Ashley? And he was like, no, I would never say that. And I'm like,
I'm surprised that she's even talking to them about it, because usually she tries to like hide it from everybody.
He looked at me tonight and said that he, quote, looked me in the eyes and said, I fucking hate you, because he had to pay $50 for cover. And
that's crazy.
Really, it's not normal. So that night I get in bed and I grab my notebook and I start writing down my New Year's resolutions. And the first one I could literally grab my notebook. I put yourself first. And like, that's the day when I started to realize it's this isn't normal. Like, I knew it wasn't normal, but I was kind of finally starting to stop living in denial, kind of.
Yep. It's a good idea because you're going to get a little pruned if you live in denial.
So
it's a joke about the Nile River, just so you guys know. It's a really good one too, so applaud it, please. Break the tension with the laughter of my joke.
now we get to the beginning of the end. So this was the last time that he had ever gotten physical with me. This was the last time we ever saw each other in person, and this was the end. So
Jesus Christ.
Oh, fuck. I don't know why I'm just crying. It's just like, what the fuck? Why the fuck? How am I sitting here just saying this shit with a fucking straight face like it's fucking normal? Like, why am I sitting here? God, what the fuck? Just, so fucking, it's just hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm like out of tears to fucking cry. January 13th. Well, let me just, after New Year's, we had all driven back the next day, and he was still ignoring me, not talking to me the entire car ride back. He wasn't talking to me, and mine just was like the next day on the way back home, and he just wasn't talking to me. And we get back to my house, and we're all talking and vibing, and that night, the night after, it's New Year's night, we go into my room, and he accuses me of wanting to fuck Ben, my sister's now fiance, and was saying how he thinks that Ben was flirting with me, and I shouldn't text Ben, I shouldn't hang out with Ben. And I was like, Ben's like a brother to me, like he is a brother to me, he's a brother-in-law now, and I've known him for 5 years, like that's longer than you. And he gets mad at me, it causes another fight. And then from there to January 13th was when our relationship was, this was the point where I felt like I made the biggest fucking mistake. What the fuck have I been doing for the past 8 months is what I was thinking at this point. And for these 2 weeks, I was looking at old videos in my camera roll before I met him.
Just reminiscing on a time where she actually looked happy.
I started to realize that he was using me for his own monetary gain to get a platform on social media. And
yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't doubt that.
I don't even want to talk about that in this video because it's not about that, it's about the abuse. So January 13th,
I'm a little curious about
we
that,
end
though.
up going to Hawaii for the last time.
Damn, didn't they go to Hawaii like twice? Jesus fucking Christ.
Me, Emma, Brennan, and my boyfriend all decided to go to Hawaii, and I wanted it to be a really fun friend group trip.
Yeah.
And at this point, I had been doing a lot of writing in my journal, and somewhere in my journal, I had written, and I told myself this, that if I ever told my parents, there would be no going back. If I ever told my parents, there would be no going back. Sorry, I just got a phone call. I hope you can still hear me. That there'd be no going back. Fuck, I'm scared you won't be able to hear me. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I hope that didn't just cut the audio. I'm like really scared now. Fuck, like now I'm scared that I'm gonna tell this story and it's not even gonna save. I'm scared to even pause it and try to. Oh fuck, hold on. I'm gonna try to pause it and redo it. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if the audio was cut out. I'm like really anxious right now. Okay. That might have looked really dumb. I told myself that if I ever told my family, there'd be no going back, and that was a rule that I made to myself. Because at this point, I was realizing, I don't know, I don't even know what mindset I was in. I was so fucking depressed.
It's interesting to me, like for the family to not know, only because, like, I don't know. I see my mother once a week. I try to make an effort, and when I have kids, I'm going to make the same effort when they're adults to see them once a week. You know, so I imagine if she was like hit or bruised, although I guess she probably does makeup too. Maybe she hides it in her makeup. But can you like hide swelling? I don't know. Maybe the dad kills him. Maybe I was wrong about the dad.
I was so
Killing is
fucking
bad.
depressed and really unhappy in my relationship. I was just so I was a shell of myself is the best way to explain it. I didn't make jokes. I didn't find jokes funny. I was a shell of myself.
I have the opposite problem. I make too many jokes. I'm gonna be real with you, man. It's crazy.
I didn't even like posting because I didn't know who I was. I completely lost myself. So I don't know when I finally decide. I don't know what gave me that, but like I thank God because it is what got me out. I told myself and my family, when I tell my family it is over and there's no going back. So anyways, the four of us decide to go to Hawaii. We get off the plane and mind you, he had bought his own plane ticket, but I had bought the Airbnb.
Sorry, it's just crazy to me. I know relationships are different nowadays, but I mean, I don't know. I'd fucking pay for everything. That's, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, relationships are different, so it's like, whatever. But, like, he's obviously, like, a real piece of dog shit, so it's like, it just makes it additionally worse, I guess. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Probably doesn't make any sense.
I just got the craziest text of my life. What the fuck? Oh my fucking God, I hate this dude. I fucking hate this dude. I fucking...
Jesus Christ.
Fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. I hate what he's fucking done to me. Fuck! Oh my fuck. Oh my God. Oh, I want to pause the video and take a minute, but I don't want the video to end because I just got a text. I'm sorry about this situation.
From him or?
I
mean, I suppose it's possible that he like messaged her because like, I mean, she was talking about it, so maybe he messaged her or something because this is like the follow-up video. Is it about bail? You guys keep saying it's about bail or something. Is there like
I'm sorry.
a bail situation?
I just found out there's a lot more to the story.
Oh, somebody just messaged her that he got out on bail. I see. Jeez, I see. That's why she's so upset. It makes sense. Okay.
Oh God. I'm sorry. This is not what this video is about. I'm sorry. Holy fuck. Fucking hate him. So I had bought the Airbnb. I was paying for everything. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. But this was another content trip to him. But to me, Brennan and Emma, it was a friend trip. So we get there, and within the first day, my boyfriend is already like really on edge. He's being really rude to me because I wasn't giving my full attention to him. I was giving it to Brennan and Emma as well. And he was refusing to join any conversations with us unless he was directly addressed and spoken to. So if you didn't say his name and ask him a question, he wouldn't talk. And even if you did, it would be a very dry answer. So
sounds like a fun
for
guy.
instance, like one of the first nights we were there, we had went out to dinner, and the entire time we were at dinner, he did not say a word to me, Brennan, or Emma. He didn't say a word the whole time. He was on his phone. We actually took a picture. I could insert it online on Snapchat or TikTok, but we had taken a group picture. We asked the waiter to take a picture of us at dinner, and he's just sitting there like, he just wasn't talking to anybody. So we're there for like 2 days, and it's just him not really talking to anybody. He would just wake up and shotgun beers, or wake up and just, I don't know, he just wasn't talking to me. And then I think it was the second day, me, Brennan, and Emma woke up super early, and I tried to wake him up, and he said he didn't want to come. So I wake him up, and I'm like, hey, do you want to come? We're going to go in the backyard, because the backyard of this Airbnb was a golf course. And I was like, hey, do you want to come up with us? We're going to take Instagram pictures on the golf course wearing like our bikinis. And he's like, no, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay. So the three of us go on this golf course, and we're out there for like an hour doing cartwheels and taking pictures and just having a fun time. And we get back into the house, and he looks at me, and he looks at my bikini, and he's like, were you taking pictures with Brennan?
Jesus Christ. Why doesn't she refer to him as an ex? I just want to read that for the actual video. I don't know. I think it's just to detach him from the story a little bit to make it a little easier for her to talk about. That would be my guess.
And I was like, yeah, Brennan was taking some of the pictures. Like, what's the problem? And he's immediately like, why would you do that? Like, why would you wear that in front of him? And I'm like, it's a fucking bikini. We were taking Instagram pictures. And he's like, well, why were you guys gone for so long? What were you really doing? And I was like, taking pictures. It's 3 of us taking pictures. Like, I don't know, it just took a while. We were having fun. I asked you to come. And he was like, I just feel like your shadow. I feel like your shadow all the time. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
that kind of makes sense because
what are you talking?
That insecurity makes sense for him to have because he's like a loser with nothing, you know? He's a fucking loser.
Talking about, like, you feel like I invited you out, like it was Instagram pictures. And he just kept going on with this, that he feels like my shadow. And it was a form of manipulation to try to make me overthink what I was doing. So
I think it's just because he was feeling insecure and he realized that like he was not able to get like popular on social media because he's fucking dumb as dog shit and nobody really likes him. I think that's really more what it was.
We spent the first 2-3 days going to cliffs and jumping off and going out to eat and just riding our mopeds around. And throughout this,
that's some fucking white people activity. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I ain't doing that.
Time, I'd obviously gotten a sunburn, and this is one of the things that he would do, which wasn't directly abused, but he would do things that he knew would hurt me. He would slap my sunburn as hard as he could.
The fuck?
Like, as hard as he could. He would do that so much, especially when
I'm gonna be real with you. That is abuse. Just to be clear, that's fucking crazy.
when I was burnt, he would slap me as hard as he could. He would pinch it. He would Indian burn it. I remember, like, literally in front of Brennan and Emma, we were just tanning. He hadn't said anything to me all day, and he just looks at me, raises his hand up, and just slaps my arm as hard as he could on my sunburn. And Brennan and Emma looked at him, and they were like, what? And he just, like, looked at me. He wasn't even laughing after doing it. He was just like, and then I'm just sitting there being like, ow. Like, and I was, like, actually on the verge of tears. I remember that. It hurt so fucking bad, but he would just do that all the time. He would just do little things that would hurt me. I don't know why. So it's either the 3rd or 4th day of the trip. I'm pretty sure it was January 15th or 16th. This is when it ended. So mind you, the first 2-3 days of the trip, just like to recap, he was ignoring me. He was being very distant with the group. He was starting issues with me for no reason. He was hitting my sunburn and doing things that would hurt me on purpose. Just not, I don't know. It's like so hard to explain. I almost wish Brennan and Emma were here to explain how he was acting. It's hard to put into words. It was almost like a stranger was with us, and the only time he would do anything is if it affected me negatively. Like, there's no words for it. Matter of fact, yeah, I kind of forgot about this. The 2nd or 3rd day we were there, he's ignoring me all day again, and we end up stopping at a place to get sushi, a little Publix or whatever. Yeah, it was a Publix. We all go inside to get sushi. He gets his sushi before us, gets on his moped and drives off without telling anybody. So I'm calling him trying to figure out where he's at, and he's like, bitch, you have my location, and hangs up. So I end up finding him, and I walk down to this cliff, and I'm like, why are you acting like this? And he basically just tells me that, like, I don't care about him, I don't love him, and this and that. And I'm just sitting here being like, what are you talking about? And he looks at me and he says, we're done. And so I run up the cliff just sobbing, and I go up to Brennan and Emma, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, he just said we're done. I don't know why he's acting like this. And we're talking for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin their Hawaii trip. So I kind of just stop crying, and I'm like, he'll get over it.
He seems to do this like a lot though when they're in like on a vacation, especially. Didn't he do that last time? Like, he like disappeared for a while. I feel like he probably met like a girl there and like started fucking her or something. I wonder if he actually wanted to break up, or if it was just like I want to get away from you right now so I can go cheat on you kind of a thing.
So me, Brennan, and Emma go into the ocean, and we're just playing around, like jumping off rocks and just having a good time. And then all of a sudden I see my boyfriend in the water after like 30 minutes, and I don't see him. Actually, this is what happened. I'm turned around, and mind you, the last thing he said to me was, I'm done. And he slaps my ass as hard as he can. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and he goes, why didn't you react? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you probably thought that was Brennan slapping your ass, huh? And I'm like, no, like,
what?
I kind of knew it would be you slapping my ass. Like, you hit it, like, what? And he's like, no, you thought that was Brennan. So then he swims over to Emma, and he's like, I don't think Brennan's gay. So Emma just like jumps into the water and is like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not entertaining this. So I get back onto the sand, and he's still in the water, my boyfriend. And I go on my phone, and I see that before even saying anything to me, apologizing, anything, he had gone on my phone and posted on my main Snapchat story. I could post this on social media as well. Saying, hey guys, I'm cool, add me. And it's a selfie of him smiling, and he added himself on my Snapchat. Before even apologizing to me, mind you, he had just told me that we're done.
Was he trying to get people to go to the Snapchat so he could like try to break up with her kind of a thing? Is that what it is?
And have been ignoring me for the past 2-3 days. And then he goes like, isn't that crazy? And so I deleted immediately, and he gets out of the ocean, doesn't say a word to me, sits like 2 feet away from me, goes on his phone, looks at me, he goes, why the F did you delete it? Who are you hiding me from? Why did you delete it? And I'm like, dude, you haven't even apologized to me, and you posted on my story. Like, I'm not, like, what? Like, are you effing kidding me? And so, I try to calm down, and I try not to argue with him, because I'm just so over it. I want to enjoy Hawaii. I don't want to fight in front of Brennan and Emma. And so that made him more mad. So it's just something I thought I'd bring up, like, just crazy. Anyways, this is the beginning of the end. Third or fourth day we're there, like I was saying. And, we're leaving to go drive 2 hours from from North Shore to Honolulu, because we were staying on North Shore, and we wanted to go cliff jumping at this place called China Walls. So we get on the mopeds early on the morning, and I don't remember anything significant happening, but we were all talking on the mopeds, and then we go drive to a gas station so we could fill up for the moped ride. So we're at the gas station, and Brendan and Emma go into the gas station, and I'm out there outside myself filling it up with my boyfriend, and he hadn't said anything to me, and I was like, hey, is everything okay? Like, you're kind of acting weird again. I don't understand what's going on. Like, you can't keep just being weird. Like, you keep ignoring me and everybody this whole trip. And I just start trying to talk to him about it. And he looks at me and he goes, you were fucking Brennan this morning. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you were fucking Brennan this morning. I saw it on the mopeds right before we left. You were fucking him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you were looking at him up and down, licking your lips. And I'm like, that never happened. Like, if he was talking, I'm sure I was looking at him. And he goes, no, you were looking at him when he wasn't talking. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't think of when you're thinking of, but maybe I was like just zoned out and it looked like I was looking at him, but what even is fucking? And that's when he gets up and he grabs my arm and he's like, I want you to admit that you want to fuck Brennan right now, or I'm going to go into that gas station and beat his ass.
I know this is like a weird question. Do you think that he was like recording this the whole time or something? I know this sounds like so weird, but do you think that he was like trying to get her to admit that she was cheating so that he can like, I know this is like the weirdest conspiracy theory ever. It's probably not even true, but do you think that like throughout this entire time, he constantly would do this where he would have her like, oh, admit that you're cheating, admit that you're cheating. Do you think he was like recording everything so that he could try to get her to admit that she was cheating so that he could expose her and get social media attention off of it? To try to generate like this career that he wants. I know that sounds like fucking far-fetched, but part of me is like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's just because he's a fucking loser.
And I'm standing there and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, from the way that you grabbed his face at that party to you fucking him, I know you want to fuck him. And I go, he's gay. He's fucking gay, dude. What are you talking? He's my gay best friend. What are you talking about? And he goes, well, maybe you just want something that you can't have. And he's like gripping my arm, and he looks at me, he goes, say
yep, I want fucking 7-Eleven taquitos right now, bro, but my heartburn's acting up.
That you want to fuck him, or I'm gonna beat his fucking ass right here in this gas station. Mind you, we're in Hawaii.
I hope that it ends where like Brent, like this guy gets his ass beat, because he's like he looks like a little twink. It doesn't even make sense. This guy's a fucking loser.
And so I look at him and I go, I want to fuck Brennan. And he looks at me, he lets go. And he walks into the gas station at the same time Brennan walks out, kind of shoulder checks him, and Brennan looks at me, he's like, are you okay? And I was too scared to even talk to him. I was too scared to talk to my own friend at this point. So I just nodded my head and got on my moped. I didn't want to talk to him, so I was scared I was scared he was going to come out and fight Brennan. I was scared that if he saw me talking to my own friend, he was going to come out and try to fight him, and I didn't want to see that, so I didn't even talk to him. So at that point, we get on our mopeds, and we drive 2 hours to China Walls, so nobody's talking, nobody's anything. And we stop and we pick up some Twisted Teas. I do remember that. Or we got that at the gas station, I don't know. But we had picked up like a pack of Twisted Teas. So we get to China Walls, which is basically this place where we go cliff jumping. It's really popular in Honolulu. And we're there. And we're all just laying down. And we start drinking. But nobody was like getting drunk. It's like Twisted Teas. There's 4 of us. So it's like 3 a person. And it's hot outside and we're swimming. So I'm just jumping off the cliffs, jumping. And I'm spending a majority of the time with Emma because I didn't want to talk to my boyfriend at this time because of what just happened. I was like very, very upset. And obviously he wasn't talking to me either. So I remember, oh, fuck yeah, this is bad. Me and Emma wanted to jump off a cliff and have somebody record it. And we're here for like an hour at this point. And nobody's drunk. Everybody's sober. Everybody was sober. So I go up to my boyfriend and I'm like, hey, are you going cliff jumping? Like, are you jumping off the cliff like with us? Because I wanted him to record.
I wouldn't personally, but.
And he goes, yeah, I'm jumping. So I go, oh. I said, oh, because I was looking for somebody to record the video. You know, I was looking for somebody to record the video. And he said he was jumping. So I said, oh, because like, oh, you can't record. So I go, oh.
Right. And then he had like a meltdown. He went fucking crazy after she said, oh.
And he looks at me, he goes, oh, bitch, are you serious? Oh. And mind you, there's a lot of people here at this point. Like, it's a popular spot. There's probably 30 people there. And you can hear everything. It's a cliff. Like, maybe some people are playing some music in the background, but it's not like a club. Everybody can hear everything. So he starts screaming. He's like, oh, what, bitch? Oh.
Just like a... Sorry, it was just like a little silly that she compared it to a club. Like, yeah, I get it. Your cliff... Okay.
Oh, what, bitch? So I'm just standing there, and then Emma goes, all she said was, oh, we're looking for somebody to record the video. And I'm standing there in shock. And he goes, you fat bitch, you ugly bitch, you wrinkly bitch, fuck you bitch, you ugly bitch, you fat bitch. And I'm not joking, 5 minutes screaming at me, and everybody's looking at this point, just screaming.
I would have assumed he was screaming that at Emma, because I imagine her as a little bit of like a butch girl. That's why Evans Johnson is too afraid to like fight her, because he's a fucking like weak coward.
Screaming at me saying I'm a fat bitch, an ugly bitch, a wrinkly bitch, on and on and on, and he won't stop. And Emma goes up to him and is like, dude, fucking stop, you need to stop. And he won't stop, and he's just screaming for 5 minutes, calling me every bitch, ugly bitch, fat bitch, everything. So I'm just in shock, and I grab Emma's arm, and I'm like, can we walk away? I can't hear this. So I walk away. He's still screaming at me, and I just jump into the water with her, and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm supposed to be happy in Hawaii. I can't do this anymore. And she's like, I know. And I was like, Emma, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I know I have to leave. And I told her, I was like, you don't even know the extent to the things that have happened, but I need to leave. And she gave me a hug, and she was like, oh, no matter how long it takes you, I'll be here for you. And I was like, I just don't know how long it's going to take me to leave him. And thankfully it was this day. So I get back out of the water, and I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, can we talk? Because I wanted to talk to him about how he had been treating me this trip.
I'm surprised that nobody like did anything about it. Like any of the other people around didn't try to stop that,
And he's like, about what? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it here. We're cliff jumping. I want to still have a good time. It's going to be a really long conversation, like 2-3 hours. So let's just talk tonight when we're back at the Airbnb. He's like, no, bitch, we're talking now. So he gets up and he grabs my arm and he drags me to the other side of the cliffs where nobody is. And he sits me down on a rock and he's like, no, we're talking here and we're talking fucking now. Like, I don't care. You're talking to me right fucking now, not tonight. And I'm like, I'm not doing this here. I'm not doing this tonight. Like, I'm not going to sit here for 2 hours when we're supposed to be cliff jumping and talk to you about how you've been treating me. Like, I'm not doing this here. And so I'm just telling him that, like, I want to have this talk tonight. And he's like, no, I don't give a fuck. You're doing it here. And I'm like, I'm not doing this here. So I get up and I go to walk away, and he grabs me and he's like, no. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And I just keep saying, I'm not having this talk here. And so then he shoves me and he walks in front of me, and he looks at me as he's walking away, and he's like, I can't wait to go back to Nashville and fuck my ex. And then kept walking.
I feel like at this point of the story, I'm just so desensitized. Like nothing that we've heard is like it's I'm just like, okay, like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's like over and over again, it's that same fucking story. I'm not like dismissing her, but it's like so desensitizing, this fucking shit that's happening. It's just like, holy fuck.
Instead of saying ex, he said her like actual full name.
Okay.
Which he had done a lot. Like, fun fact, the day that he met my parents for the first time, we had driven from Nashville to Portage, Indiana, which is about a 6-hour car ride. And 30 minutes before we get there, I was singing the song, fuck my baby dad, fuck my baby dad. And so I was singing it like, fuck my baby dad, fuck my baby dad. And he goes, what did you just say? And I said, fuck my baby dad. That's the song. I was singing it. And he goes, no, I heard you say you love your baby dad. And I was like, no, I said, fuck my baby dad. Like, that's the song. And he looks at me, he goes, no, I know what you said. Don't fucking lie to me. And so for 30 minutes, literally up until we pulled into the driveway to meet my parents, he's going on and on about how much he wants to fuck his ex, saying her full name, saying how much he misses her and how much he misses fucking her, and how I will never compare, and how I'm too fat and gross and loose and I'll never compare to her, and how much he just misses it, and how just on and on for 30 minutes. And then I had to walk into that house and introduce him to my dad and my mom, and act like nothing happened. So just backstory.
Jesus. Okay.
He does all of that. Walks away saying he wants to fuck his ex, can't wait to go back to Nashville to fuck his ex. And so at that point, I decide I'm just going to ignore him. So,
well, obviously he's just saying that. Like, he seems to be, I think it's all like a power thing. Like, he seems to want to be around her as much as possible. Well, maybe not as much as possible. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. But it seems like it's all an act to just try to make her feel like a piece of shit. So every time he does it, this is just a cycle like that he's got into.
Me and Emma and Brennan. So
it's interesting because I don't think it's like a meticulous thing. I don't think that he's intelligent. He's like, okay, I'm going to do this to make her feel this way. I think that he just acts like that, and he happens to get what he wants out of his partners or his ex-partners. in general, so he just continues to engage in the behavior. I think that's really all it is.
Brendan actually ends up leaving because he knew that my boyfriend was about to crash out because he had been hearing him call me names, and he didn't want him to try to fight him. So Brendan ended up leaving. We didn't know this, but his moped ended up breaking down around 30 minutes away from China Wall. So he was at some random beach alone at this point, and we had no idea. So it's just the three of us, and I'm just talking to Emma. And then my boyfriend goes up to this group of girls and buys twisted teas off of them and is sitting there just talking to them. And at this point, the sun's setting. And we meet this group of people, and we're all talking. Me and Emma and these people are talking, and my boyfriend's talking to this other group of people, and it's whatever. I'm just kind of ignoring him. And he's ignoring me like he had been the whole trip. And so I'm talking with Emma and these three girls at the cliffs. These girls that came up to me and been like, we heard how he was talking to you, and we want you to know that's not normal. And at this point I just start crying, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's not normal, and he's done a lot worse. I can't talk about it, but I know it's not normal, and I wish he wasn't doing this in public. I wish he didn't have the confidence to call me those things in public, but yeah.
I mean, shouldn't have the confidence to call you those things in private either, you know?
So at that point I hear yelling, and I look, and my boyfriend is trying to fight some guy at the cliffs. He's pressing this guy because basically this guy had made a joke. My boyfriend went to shotgun a twisted tea and did not finish it. So the guy joking goes, haha, you didn't even finish it. And that made my boyfriend really mad, and he starts trying to fight him. So
that adds up. That adds up, yeah.
So then it turns into a whole group thing, and people are ganging up on my boyfriend, being like, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, you need to sit down, you're drunk, you need to sit down. And so they sit him on the ground. They're like, you need to just stay there. And so then the guys come up to us, and they're like, is that your boyfriend? And I've never been so embarrassed to say, yeah, that is. And they're like, you're going to have to get him to leave. Like, he's trying to fight people. And like, this is Hawaii. Why are you trying to fight people in Hawaii? And so at that point, I just start crying, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I'm like, okay, he needs to go. Like, this is so embarrassing. So I go up to him, and I grab my towel, and I said, we're leaving. Meet me by the mopeds, because I didn't even want to be seen walking out with him. Like, it was so
We're leaving, meet me by the moped. We're leaving, meet me by the mopeds. It's just like a funny sentence.
embarrassing. So we
But
grabbed
this obviously is not funny. This is fucking terrible what's happening to her.
our stuff. Like, he just tried to fight somebody for no fucking reason. In Hawaii! In Hawaii! Why are you mad in Hawaii? What? So me and Emma walk up to the mopeds, and I go, I'm like, hey, I need to call Ben, my sister's fiance, and just talk to him for a minute while I wait for my boyfriend to get back up here. So I was by the mopeds, and I'm like by this little tree in the corner, and I'm on the phone with Ben, and I'm like, is it normal for your boyfriend to call you a bitch this much? Do you call Ashley a bitch? And I'm just sitting here asking him these questions, and he's just like, no, it's not, Kayla. No, it's not normal. What are you talking about? What is he doing? And all of a sudden I see my boyfriend walk up the cliff towards the mopeds, and I'm like, I have to go. So I hang up, and I walk towards him, and he sees me, and he's like, what the F are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, who are you on the phone with? And I was like, because I knew if I said my sister's fiance, he would think I was trying to F him, but I told him, and I was like, oh, Ben, like, I just had to ask him something. And he's like, okay, and walks towards the mopeds. So we get to the mopeds, and this really nice guy, literally my guardian angel of this trip, comes up to me. He's like a 28-year-old guy, just chill, and he goes up to me, and he's like, hey, so he seems very intoxicated. I don't want him to drive this moped all the way back to your Airbnb. How about you guys get in my car, we go get pizza, and then you guys can take your mopeds back after. Like, he'll be sober by then. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't even know how he got drunk. He had maybe 5 twisted teas. Like, I don't understand. And so he's like, okay, cool. So he walks away for like 5 seconds to like go start his car or something. I don't know. But my boyfriend is like, hey, can I go through your phone? And I'm like, whatever, dude. So I like give him my phone. He goes through it for 5 seconds and gives it back. And then 5 seconds later, he's like, let me go through your phone. And at that point, I'm like, no, you just went through it. Like, I haven't even done anything. Like, why are you going through my phone? And I'm just like, no, you're not going to go through my phone. You just went through it. No. Like, I'm not joking. I was like, can I go through your phone? Gives it back. Let me go through your phone. So I'm like, no, like, you just had my phone, bro. You just had my fucking phone. My phone's about to die. But I was like, you just had my fucking phone, dude. You just had my phone. I'm not giving it to you again. Like, I feel like you're just gonna take it. Like, no, I want my phone. So at that point, he's like, no, you're giving me your phone. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not giving you my phone. So he grabs my arm, and he shoves me up against this brick wall, and he's holding my arm as hard as he can up against it and pushing me up against the wall. And he's like, give me your fucking phone. And at that point, the dude who offered to get us pizza comes up to me, and he's like, get your hands off of her. Don't touch her like that. So he turns around, and he's like, mind your fucking business, bro. Mind your fucking business. And he's like, no, you're not going to touch her like that. You're not going to touch her like that. And then Emma starts joining in, and she's like, don't touch Kayla like that. Like, what are you doing? So they're yelling at him. And that's when my boyfriend starts screaming back at them. and starts trying to fight the guy who offered to take him to get pizza to sober him up. And he's like, I'll touch her how I want. I don't give a fuck. Like, mind you, he had just assaulted me in front of them. He grabbed my arm and shoved me up against the fucking wall. And at that point, I ran barefoot. I looked at the situation. I didn't know what to do. I ran down the street. I ran as far as I could.
It's crazy that this is the first time in this entire story that another guy finally, like, you know, stood up for her. I don't know. It's actually kind of pathetic. I don't mean to be that guy, but this is the first time her friends, her twin sister's fiance, and this is the first time that something like this has happened. I don't know. That's fucking insane to me. 9 months? Okay. Wild.
And I called my mom. And I kept the promise I made to myself. And I called my mom. And I said, Mom, please don't tell anybody. But my boyfriend hits me. And it's been going on for months. And I knew once I told her that I couldn't stay with him. So I told her, I said, he's been hitting me for months. And it's really bad. He's tried to kill me before. And she starts crying on the phone, and she's like, well, are you okay? Don't go near him, stay away from him. And I'm just crying on the phone, just telling her what I haven't told her for the past few months. And that's when Emma and the guy find me crying. And I look at Emma and I said, I'm doing this so I can never go back. I tell her that he's been hitting me. And, like, you know, she had an idea, but I never confirmed it with her. Like, you know, she's walked in a few times, but I've always said she didn't know what she was seeing because I was scared.
Well, wouldn't she, like, kind of know, right? Didn't she walk in on him fucking strangling you to death? What are you talking about? Doesn't really make sense to me.
And I told her, and I showed her pictures, and I showed her the videos. Emma started crying, and the guy was in shock. And I was just like, he's been physical with me, like what you guys just saw.
We saw, like, the pictures and everything in the video, so I'm not, like, saying it never happened. I'm just like, how the fuck would she not know?
5 seconds ago was nothing compared to the shit he's done to me. And, I didn't grab a charger, so my phone doesn't die, actually. Hold on. 1 second, guys. Oh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm probably gonna have to finish the video with, really bad lighting. Because, I'm gonna have to unplug the ring light to plug my phone in. I'd rather have shitty lighting. It's not about what I look like, it's about the story. So I'm gonna plug this. 1 second, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So the guy ends up saying, okay, well, I don't want you going back to that Airbnb with him. That's obviously where he's going to be on the way to. I'm going to take you and Emma to go get food then. And then I think you guys should get a hotel. And at this point, I'm just sobbing because I knew I had basically ended our relationship without telling him. So we get in the car, and that's when Brendan
he's told her like 8 times already, so you know what I mean?
Tells us that his moped broke down about 30 minutes up. And so we're like, okay, we'll go pick you up.
I'm sorry, who said that?
So
Brennan?
basically ended our relationship without telling him. So we get in the car, and that's when Brendan tells us that his moped broke
I want to make sure it was Brennan and it wasn't the ex, you know?
Down about 30 minutes up. And so we're like, okay, we'll go pick you up. So we go drive 30 minutes, and my boyfriend still has my location at this point.
Well, you can't, you should probably turn it off at that point. I don't even know how to do that. How would you even turn that off? I don't even know how to turn it on, personally.
And, I'm not sure exactly what we were texting about. I don't know if we were texting, but I was in the back seat just sobbing. Emma was in the front seat, and the guy was driving. And we get to the park where Brennan was at, and I explained to him the situation, and he, you know, cries and hugs me, and he's like, I know he wasn't normal. I knew it wasn't normal. I'm so proud of you. So we're sitting there waiting for the tow truck to get Brennan's moped, and then all of a sudden...
A tow truck for the moped? How big is a fucking moped?
We see my boyfriend's moped headlights pull in. And so he drives it up to the car. And at this point, it's just me and Emma in the car, and the guy's out helping Brennan. And
yeah, that's true. This guy showing up late in the arc is crazy. Like, he just showed up asking some people to get pizza. Now he's trapped in a domestic dispute. Well, I mean, I feel like that was kind of like the reason he asked for pizza, trying to see if he could help her out. Because every other person in her life was too much of a, I mean, not to be an asshole, but, you know, I guess they didn't. Well, maybe she hid it well or something. I don't know. But I don't think that that's true. They knew what was going on. It seems like nobody really stepped in. So, you know, thank God for this guy.
He walks up and he has his flashlight on, and he puts it on me, and I'm in the backseat just crying, and he looks at me and he goes, "Why the fuck are you crying?" And I look at him and I'm like, and before I can even get a word out, the guy who's driving comes up and shoves him, and he goes, "Get the fuck away from her. We know what you did." And he's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And the dude's like, "Dude, we know." And so he looks at me and he goes, "I'm going back to Nashville tonight. We're fucking done." And then speeds off.
Well, got off kind of light there. Crazy.
So I just start sobbing, and he drives away. And we end up getting pizza, and the whole time I'm just sobbing, and I'm like, at this point, like, what did I do? What did I do? And instead of, like, I don't know if you guys have ever had something like this where you forget the bad and you can only think of the good, and I don't know. There wasn't much good of our relationship at all, but for some reason.
I'm sure that there were moments that were, like, good enough for her to feel like she wants to stay with him, but, you know.
All I could think about was good stuff. And, like, I was like, what did I do? So I'm like, I need to end this with him in person. I need to end it with him. I need to end it with him. I didn't like how he got the last word. I was just so manic. So I'm like, guys, I'm leaving, and I'm going to the Airbnb.
Like, it's not worth it to try to get the last word in on this situation, you know?
And nobody agreed, but they understood, so I ordered an Uber.
The fuck you mean nobody agreed, but they understood? This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Why would they let you do this? Like, you're getting beat by this fucking guy. It's finally over, and you feel like you need the last word, which is a silly decision on your part, but you're very emotionally riled up. And then all the people around you are like, okay, you want to see him one last time? We understand. We don't agree, though. This isn't one of those moments. This is like, no, you're not doing that. What the fuck is happening here?
And on the way to the Airbnb, my phone died. So I had no idea where my boyfriend was at. I didn't even know if he was there. But by the time I got there, I opened the door and all of his stuff was gone. So I called him.
That's good.
And I said, I wish you just had the balls to end it with me in person. But it's good to know you. And I was just crying on the phone, and I recorded a video after I had gotten off the phone of me crying so that I could watch it when I was finally done and just remember how fucking sad I was with him. But he ended up turning around, and he came back to the Airbnb. He told me he bought a plane ticket to go back, and we walked to the beach, and he basically just sat there saying how much he loved me and wanted to have a house with me and a family and kids and this and that. And
wow, what a beautiful moment. And they lived happily ever after, huh?
I didn't believe it this time. And I looked at him and I said, "You broke up with me." And I told him I was so scared to tell him this. And I was like, "I told my family that you put hands on me. I can't go back, ever." And he was really mad about it. He was like, "Why the fuck would you tell them? What did you tell them? What did you say?" And I said that you've hit me before. And that's when the first time he's ever looked stressed out. And he was like, "Well, what do we do now? What do we do now?" I was like, "I don't know." So we ended up walking back to the Airbnb. And I told him he couldn't sleep in the bed with me. We were broken up. It was done.
Wait, you're staying in the Airbnb?
He refused. He slept in the bed with me. I woke up to him cuddling me. I literally remember shoving him off. I was so sick. And that whole next day, because we were in Hawaii for 2 days after this.
I fucking hate to say this. I'm not trying to victim blame. This person has no self-preservation skills. Holy fuck. Oh my God. I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole. I'm really not. But Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Like, it finally was over after 9 months. And he fucking breaks up with you, leaves, and then you go to try to confront him at the Airbnb. Then he's not there, so you call him. And you leave a fucking message saying he's like a coward for not saying it to your face or whatever. Then he comes back, and then you like end up sleeping the night with. Like, what are you doing? Jesus fucking Christ! It's just like, God damn it! Come on.
He ended up missing his flight to go back home, and the whole day we just talked. And there was a point right in the morning, my mom had called me back, and I was just crying to her. I forgot about this part. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, the next morning we wake up, and Brennan and Emma are scared of him at this point after what I had told them, and they didn't want to be around him. And I called, he looks at me and he said, "I need you to call your mom and tell her that you were lying about me putting my hands on you." And I was like, "I can't do that." And he was like, okay, well, then you need to call her and tell her it's not as bad as she thinks. So I call my mom, and the whole 30 minutes I'm on the phone with my mom, he's having me go on mute. And he's like, no, tell her that it only happened once. So I'd unmute myself. I'd be like, Mom, it only happened once. And she'd be like, well, it shouldn't happen at all. Go back on mute. Well, say it was an accident. It was an accident. And he was coaching me through this conversation with my mom to the point where I was lying to her. So I got out of the room and I ran outside. And I told my mom, I was like, no, he does it a lot. He does it a lot. He does it a lot. And she was like, you need to get the fuck out of there. So I hung up the conversation with my mom. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't sit here and lie to my mom. She knows the truth. And she just told my sister and my dad. And my dad's really concerned about me at this point.
Dad's really concerned? Okay, Dad.
And we end up, it was such a fucking long day. We end up going to the beach and just sitting and talking for like 3 hours. And he's like, I don't want to break up. I don't want to break up with you. And I'm like, okay, well, I need time. So I'm going to give you 2 months. I said,
this is crazy to me. And like, honestly, dude, because he's the bad person here. I want to be very clear. But dude, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And like, part of me is like, you know, this girl has been successfully manipulated by this guy. So I can kind of understand why she keeps going back. What the fuck are her friends doing, letting her do this? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are they doing? This is like the time to fucking be like, hey, we got to knock it off now. And they're not doing it. They're letting her fucking go and do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the fuck is happening? It's crazy to me. It's fucking insane to me.
I said, I think you have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I understand that she's very in love with him. I mean, but the friends, like, what are the fucking the supposed friends doing? The fuck is happening?
So I'm gonna go home to California and you're gonna go back to Nashville and I don't want to see you for 2 months. We can still talk and communicate through this, but I don't know what to think right now. Like, my friends are scared of you. My family knows that you put hands on me. Like, I don't know what we can save here. And so he ends up going back to the Airbnb while I'm at the beach. And this is what Brendan has screen recordings of. They're all on his TikTok voice memos. He basically came back inside, and instead of owning up to putting his hands on me in front of them, to putting his hands on me, or apologizing for putting his hands on me at all, ever, instead of apologizing for anything that he had done, he goes in there and starts crying about how he doesn't know what to do for work now because his entire social media career relies on me and traveling. And Brendan has voice memos of all of that. They are on his TikTok.
Yeah, we saw those from the last one.
So, go to bed that night. The next day, it was our last day in Hawaii, and things were normal. He was trying to act happy and like he loved me and cared about me, but it's because he knew he was going to lose his job. I was his job. I was his job, and then punching bag. He didn't love me. So, flash forward, we get back home to California, and the same night that we get back home, he ends up packing his bags and going to Nashville. And we would text, but we wouldn't call. And we were still technically dating. Like, we weren't allowed to see anybody else, but he wasn't allowed to be...
Well, I'm sure he's still doing whatever he wants.
...controlling. We weren't allowed to see each other. We weren't allowed to call. We weren't allowed to text 24/7. We were supposed to take time on ourselves. He was supposed to go to therapy and stop...
He wasn't allowed to be controlling. It's just like, wow, what a boundary, you know?
...stop drinking and this and that. And I was just going to live my life because I didn't do anything. And so I ended up 2 weeks after this break thing, I ended up going to Gasparilla in Tampa, which had been planned. And he did some crazy shit there that I can talk about in another video. Basically was once...
I feel like you gotta fucking move on from this. This is insane. I wouldn't even talk about this anymore. Not as a way to like give him any break or anything, but fucking Jesus.
Again, accusing me of fucking my best friend's ex-boyfriend.
Sounds like a change of man, no?
And then the day of Gasparilla, January 25th, we're still on this 2-week break, and this girl comes up to me. She just starts sobbing to me immediately. And she's like, I'm in a situation like yours. And she starts showing me videos that are the same as mine, and pictures that are the same as mine, and stories that are the same as mine. And I've never met somebody with the same stories, and I've never met somebody in person who had been through what I was. And I also wasn't really telling a lot of people about it. So I just opened up to her, and I look at her, and I was like, how long has this been going on? She said, 4 years.
Was this after the first part that she released? Is that why this person went up to her?
That's when I realized he would never stop until I was dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was like
even if he's saying that he'll stop, he's not going to stop. Because like, even if let's say he was genuine in the moment, which I don't think he would be, like, he's Like, he's gonna lose his shit and he's gonna end up killing her. Like, that's what he's going to end up doing.
My eyes opened and I was like, holy shit, I can't ever get back with him. I can't ever get an apartment alone with him. He'd kill me. So that day I text him and I'm like, fuck you. I can never look at you the same. You put your hands on me. I hate you. Fuck you. We're done. The next day we FaceTimed and he's like, do you mean it? And he's sobbing on the phone and I'm like, I mean it. We're done. I can never look at you the same. I can't do this anymore.
Should have recorded that. That would have been funny to watch him crying.
And I hung up and I broke up with him. And the day that I broke up with him, I was outside with Emma for 5 or 6 hours. We spent the whole day outside talking. And I realized the truth because there was nobody in my ear to tell me the lies, the I love yous, and it didn't really happen. And I don't remember. I didn't mean it. It was only the straight truth. It was Emma saying what she's walked in on, what she's experienced, and me telling these stories and really having to live them that I realized I did have to end it. So I stood through with it, and I broke up with him that night on FaceTime. And it was really hard, and I was really sad. And I remember even after breaking up, I would send him texts that I miss him, and he would text me and whatever. And I cared about him, and I still couldn't believe what he did to me, and I still was in denial until one day it changed, and it was about a week after we broke up. And I called him for the first time because I was really upset.
Like, about something else or about this? Like, is she still is he her go-to still for when she's stressed out, or is that just about the situation?
And I call him, and the first thing he says to me, is, are you going to talk about this online? Are you going to tell people about this? And I said, I don't know. I don't know how to share my story. I'm scared. I was like, I don't want people to look at me and only see what you did to me. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about this. I don't know. And he said, good. Because if you talk about it, that means you don't love me and that you never loved me. He said, if you talk about this publicly, that means you never loved me.
Sounds like a changed man. Wow, incredible. Jesus Christ.
You know what? I never even fucking knew who you were.
She's probably planning that line for like a long time. I don't even mean that in like a performative bad way. I mean, like, she's probably like, that was probably how she wanted to almost like end this whole entire thing.
I never even fucking knew who you were. After that phone call, when he said that, I hung up. And the next day, I went online.
Wait, he said that or she said that?
I never... And you know what? Never loved me. He said, if you talk about this publicly, that means you never loved me.
Oh, he must have said that. Okay, I thought she said that.
After that phone call, when he said that, I hung up. And the next day, I went on live. And I said that we broke up. He texted me a whole paragraph saying that he basically didn't know why I had to do that.
Well, I think it's just her taking steps to like actually officially end the relationship in like her own mind. Like, she has to take that step. Like, okay, we're done. I'm going to go on live and tell people because we have to be finished. That sounds like it makes sense to me.
And that was our last time texting. And now we're here. Oh, look. Hold on. It sucks because I don't even feel like it's all been told yet. I feel like there's so much more. There's so many more stories, and I'm not done talking about it. It's hard to talk about, but I also feel like I have to.
That call must have been when he got the idea to form the narrative that she said she'd ruin him after the breakup so people wouldn't trust her. Yeah, that makes sense.
And for a man to say that he loves you and then try to kill you that same day is just something I really hope nobody ever has to feel. I'm really out of tears to cry. There's so much more that happened that I'll share But those were the main dates. Those were the main dates of abuse. Those are the main dates of assault. And those are the dates that have led me here to making this video and telling our story. And if you date anybody who's like this, he does not love you. He does not care about you. If he can hit you, he can kill you. This is not normal. Even the verbal shit alone is not normal, and it will turn into physical. This is not normal. He does not love you, and it will not get better. It will only get worse. These things don't go away. And at the end of the day, what I've realized is he never loved me. He hated me. He hated me from the day he met me.
Probably. And even if that's not true, that's the way that you have to feel sometimes. Because if you even think for a second that like, oh, but he does love me, then you're just going to excuse the behavior anyway. You know, so you have to think that, even if whether it is or isn't true is like almost completely irrelevant. But I think it's like one of those things where, you know, this is going to be a weird comparison probably, but I think it's almost like a feeder-feedee relationship, where it's like people who get in relationships with like that, like they hate the person that they're like feeding, if that makes sense. They're just trying, they hate them so much, they think it's disgusting, but like they love how disgusting it is, kind of a thing. I think that maybe there's part of that might ring true for the situation.
He never loved me, and I never knew who he was. The past 9 months of my life were a lie, but a lie that will forever have changed my life. And this has been the hardest 4 days I've had in a really long time, but I'm doing it for us and for you, so for that, thank you. And I'm like really I'm really crashed out right now after talking about all of this. But I'm not done. I'm not done talking about this. This is for you, for us, and
I feel like she should be done talking about this. I feel like it's almost toxic mentally to just keep talking about this. You know, I get it. On the one hand, I do understand it. I feel like, you know, it's a lot to fucking constantly like relive every single time you talk about it, you know?
Doesn't love you. If you relate to any of this, he does not love you. If you get in a relationship with somebody like this and you start seeing these signs leave, he does not love you. At the end of the day, he will kill you. And I know that if I stayed, if I never called my mom, if I stayed and I got an apartment with him, he would have killed me and I would not be here today. But yeah, I hope, I don't know how this video came out. There's no perfect way to tell these stories or perfect way to make these videos, but this is our story, not just mine, and it's for us. So I love you guys, and he doesn't love you. And yeah. You said if I talk about this, I never loved you. Newsflash, I never fucking knew you.
I told you though, that was she was ready to drop that line. She was ready to drop a line, you know what I mean? I called it.
For us, y'all. Fuck.
All right. Jesus Christ, that was a lot. Very brave for her to come forward with that story. I just feel like, for her own sake, she should just like stop talking about it, you know? Just so she doesn't have to keep reliving it.